I think there's going to be a small child joining us in a minute.
Daddy, bye-bye.
Hey, baby.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's bright lights, isn't it? Yeah, see, Daddy's working. What are you doing down here? You got junk all over your face. Mama was supposed to keep you upstairs. Yeah, see, you're on TV. I'll send her away when she's annoying. We're just getting started. There's really not a whole lot of people watching right now anyway. No, we can't turn it off. We can't turn it off. Alright, go see Mama. That's enough. Go see Mama. Baby. Go see Mama. Yeah, I gotta offload the baby. Okay. Alright. Yeah, see, my daughter is very, very attached to me, so sometimes it can be tough to focus on more than one thing at once. But that's alright. We'll get started in a little bit here. We're going to have guest star Hopped91 join us. I'm not sure if you guys know him. He's been on the channel before. I've done some collab with him prior. But he's going to join us here, and he's a pretty convincing guy when it comes to things like stock market news, financial analysis, stuff like that. He's convinced me of a few things before, so it's always good to have his input. He's on a business call right now, but he'll join us afterwards. And give it a couple minutes here. There's not a whole lot of people in here right now. Fridays, they say, are notoriously bad for streams, but we're going to give it a shot anyway, because this is what I do now. So I have my last call ever with my company, Booz Allen Hamilton, at 2 o'clock. It's about a 15-minute phone call, and they're just going to ask me why I'm quitting. So I might just leave the stream going while I explain that I'm quitting my job to go be a full-time YouTuber and see what they have to say. But we'll see. Alex said us, quick question before we start. Super easy. You got 14K and want to turn it into 100K quick. Safe, go. Pick a shitcoin and pray is option 1. Option 2, you buy 4 Ethereum, or what is that, 3 Ethereum right now, throw it onto LedgerX and start selling covered calls, take the profit, and then dump that back into a shitcoin. So you can pray that way too. And that would be my move. All right, Christopher Dominguez is doing the freeloader challenge. He made $60 in a month. I'm going to show you guys some later next week. I'm going to be showing you guys my new favorite resource for making money freeloading. It's called Free Cash. I've showed some people that. I have in my Discord. I made the Freeloader Alliance channel, and next thing I know, everybody wants to join it from the other groups. So freeloading is it's becoming a popular topic. I'm telling you, man, like the reason that everybody's resigning from these jobs these days is not because we all made money on Bitcoin. It's because we're all freeloading. Why not? Yeah, we hope so, Dankmaster. We'll see. What I want to do first is do my portfolio review. It's something I like to do all the time. I like to show off what I've got going on because there's always something changing a little bit for me. But first, how's my sound? Is my sound good? Is the music too loud? Is it annoying? I like to have a little bit of ambient noise, but I don't want it to be the point where it's distracting. Discord link ought to be in the description of this video, or any of the other ones, Christopher. So check that one out. We'll do my portfolio first, and then we'll wait a little bit for Hopped91 to join us. And I know he's got a couple things he wants to talk about too. Then we can just watch some CNBC Squawk Box and talk about how all these rich people are actually not that good at investing anyway. So, alright. Yeah, small audience today. They say Fridays aren't good for streaming for some reason, but maybe my channel is just suffering, so we'll see. Alright. Let's get rid of the starting soon picture. And we will get... Let me see if this is what I want. Yep. I gotta put myself ahead there. Alright, that's gonna be a little annoying with the fuzzy behind, but can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see it, okay. And we'll talk through some of the strategies that have been lower the music a smidge. Alright, that's pretty much as low as it gets. See if I can lower a little bit more. Alright. Ah, you hear the baby upstairs? Okay. So let's check our portfolio first. So it's the end of the year. If by now you're not selling off some of your bad investments, it's time to start doing that. So I've done that, and I've revamped my portfolio a little bit using a slightly different approach going into the new year, but I think it's going to work out for the best, and I've trimmed a lot of the garbage out of this account. So let's start it off. So first thing you need, everybody needs in their account, is a nice foundation of shares and ETFs. I've seen so many times lately people all struggling. They're saying, the market's down 2%, I'm down 15%, I can't take it anymore, I'm out, or they're selling, they're locking in losses when they should be buying more. It drives me crazy watching that happen. And the reason for it is because everybody overestimates their risk tolerance. Everybody. I overestimate my own risk tolerance. Everyone I talk to overestimates. They say if my stocks drop 30%, I'll just buy more, no problem. Or I'll just hold and wait for it to recover. But what do we all do when the stock market starts tanking? We start locking in our losses. We do the exact opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. And we all say it, I broke my cardinal rule, that's why I lost money. The reality is we overestimated our risk tolerance. So in my portfolio, I always keep a nice foundation of dividend stocks, low beta ETFs, index funds, anything like that. And that way, I'm always confident that I'm making money regardless of what the stock market does, right? So everybody should have Apple in their portfolio, no question about it. I recently sold my Apple Leaps and used it to buy more shares. All right, so the problem I usually have with Leaps is that I just hold and hold and hold forever. And when the stock crashes, that's when I end up dumping the Leaps. So what I did this time, as Apple rose, it sold a little bit early. It started to rise to about 160. My Leaps was just bringing more and more money. So I sold it off and invested some of it back into shares. And I put some of it into other stocks we'll talk about later. But everybody should have Apple. I think this is going to be one of the best companies for our entire lifetime. So I invested into it. I've more than tripled my money so far. I just wish I bought more. Oh, Undivine Knight, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, super chat, so we get the money cannon. Yeah. So Undivine Knight was he's also on Patreon. He's one of the most generous people I know. So he started his foundation account too because he was having the same problem I just described. A lot of people are overestimating their risk tolerance. They don't have nice shares underneath them. So when the market moves a little bit, all their spreads get blown out. So what he started to do, set up a different account and put money into it to act as his foundation. So I strongly recommend doing that as well. You can talk to him on Discord. It's Undivine Knight, same username he's got here. Anyway, so moving on here. So everybody just have Apple. Don't even ask any questions, just have it. All right, Coinbase has probably been one of the worst investments, I think, of my adult life. I've made worse investments when I was a teenager, but this is the worst one I've made probably since I turned 22 about. I was really confident that the stock would just take off. I was looking at a $1,000 price target. Long term, I still am. But Coinbase has been following the market, following the cryptocurrency market up and down the whole time. And now we've entered into this kind of crypto winter where all of the second-rate coins like Chainlink or Dogecoin, all those kind of gone down from their highs. Coinbase is going down with it. So my plan here, I don't want to get rid of Coinbase. I still want Coinbase in my portfolio, but I really want to write off this $13,000 loss. Because when you sell at a loss, you take money, you deduct money from the amount you owe in tax. And I'm in I think it's like the 22% tax bracket, I'm not quite sure. but I would be able to take away from my taxes about, what would that be? About $4,000, maybe, reduced off my tax bill by selling it. But I want to avoid a wash sale. So after I sell, I've either got to stay out of the stock for 30 days, 31 days, so that I can not trigger a wash sale when I buy back in. Or alternatively, I could take on a different approach, but still have exposure to Coinbase. So my plan is to sell the shares and buy an at-the-money leaps, which will act very, very similarly to owning 100 shares of stock. If I buy 2 leaps at the 50 delta, that's pretty much the same thing as owning 100 shares, right? But it will not trigger a wash sale as long as I'm not buying deep in the money leaps. So that's my plan here. I have to sell this. I should have sold it off like 2 weeks ago. My air just kicked on. Is it too loud? Can you guys hear that too much? I can turn it off if I need to. Just let me know. And then we've got a couple here. These are my dividend stocks. So we've got Energy Transfer. They control pipelines that transport oil up and down from like it's like 50% of the oil pipelines in the United States. So I'm holding this in my portfolio. I'll probably buy more, but as the economy recovers, oil gets more expensive, this company will do very well. It's low beta, so it doesn't move a lot with the market. Kind of does its own thing with the oil prices, but it always pays a dividend. I think the dividend right now is about 5%. Coca-Cola, same deal. Warren Buffett said to own this. This thing does its own thing, so I own it, and it pays me like clockwork every quarter. It's a dividend aristocrat, always raises it. Lithium. So when I made the video on lithium, you guys absolutely hated it. And I think that's because you didn't like the sponsoring, and that's fine. I get that. I see where I went wrong there. But lithium itself is a really good investment. Like lithium is going to be it's kind of the one element that all these Internet of Things devices all need. We're getting more and more semiconductors. You guys want a link to the Discord? Can somebody drop that link in there real quick? I don't want to come away from my stream, but it's in the description of just about every video. Yeah, you can just click on another video and you'll find it there. But lithium is going to power our future when it comes to technology. So I just went ahead and bought 100 shares of lithium. And I also sold a couple of puts as well on the way up. So now I've got covered calls going at the $100 strike. It's going to pay me out every month. And I'm going to take this money, this gain, and throw it right back into shares of more lithium. So this is the only metal I own, but I think it's the best one to own. So seriously, take a look at the lithium stocks. Lit is lit. Penny stock is shit. Okay. Yeah, lit is lit. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, lit is a good ETF. There's a couple other ones too, but I think lithium, the lit ETF, is the one that has the best options liquidity. So I plan on selling covered calls. I'm going to do it. LRCX has probably been one of my best investments, and I've been shilling this thing since it's like in the mid. Here's my basis. And this is actually a little bit higher because I bought additional shares. I think I bought my first lot of shares at like 300. So I've more than doubled off this one. What LRCX does, I've said this 1,000 times, they make the machines that other companies need in order to make their semiconductors. So Lam Research is going to sell equipment to Taiwan Semiconductor, to Intel, to AMD, to who else? All the companies that make their semiconductors. They all get their equipment from LRCX, AMAT, and then there's one company, I think it's called like Klek or something like that. It's like some Dutch company or Danish company, something like that. But LRCX is the biggest one. This is kind of the Maserati version of the other ones. And, you know, I've more than doubled on it. And I don't plan on selling these shares. At one point I was selling covered calls, but I don't think that's necessary. LRCX is just too strong of a company. It's increasing its dividend. It's killing earnings every single season. And with all this pull back to the US when it comes to making semiconductors here, that strategic technology, LRCX is going to be the one that's providing all of it. So the ones that they're building in Arizona, it's all LRCX all day. So buy shares of this. It's expensive, but maybe you can use some put credit spreads that expire in 3 months or something. Altria is probably the weakest of my dividend stocks. This is a cigarette company. They're trying to move more toward marijuana, and I think they even own stake right now in smokeless tobacco. But they pay their dividend. That's what I like about them. I don't actually plan on selling them. Thank you, Sam Pling, for putting that there. I'm going to pin this. I'll pin that for now. Discord link is now the pinned message, so you guys can check that out and join us. It's free, 100% free. If you want the premium channels, you can do that through Patreon, but just joining Discord is free. All right. So Altria, I think it's still a decent investment. It's nice and cheap at this price too. So I don't think I'm going to pick up more, but I don't plan on selling it. NLY is their mortgage REIT, so they buy mortgages from other companies and then collect mortgage payments. So pretty good company. It's a nice cheap stock. If you want a dividend stock, but you don't have a lot of money in your account, you can go to NLY. There's NLY Capital. They'll take pretty good care of you. PFFD, this is a preferred shares ETF. It's the only actual preferred stock that fixed income asset that I own. So they own baskets of preferred stocks from companies or preferred shares. And that means that they must pay dividend. The stock price doesn't go up and down. It's kind of like a mix of bonds and shares. I'll take a second here to address an interesting comment. So Gret Pieters says ASML is way bigger than any of these companies. So that's the Dutch. Okay, that's the one I was talking about. It's not called Klek. I don't know where I got that from. ASML is the one. So I mean, is it bigger? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I bought into the company that I think is going to have the most growth in the United States as opposed to ASML. But that's the other one in addition to AMAT. ASML is the Dutch company that I was trying to describe and called it the wrong name. But that's probably just as good of an investment. I mean, you can't go wrong owning the semiconductor manufacturers right now. Buy all three of them for all I care. But I really like LRCX, so I don't plan on selling it. And then, yeah, preferred stock. So Dankmaster brought this up too. Preferred shares are also good when stocks are going down or when a company is struggling. The preferred shares are the ones that are going to get the money first. The ones that own preferred shares will actually receive revenue if a company liquidates. I don't think we're at that point yet, but it is nice to know that this thing cannot crash down to nothing. And it pays me every month, so it's really nice. Prudential has probably been the best dividend investment that I've made. I bought this during the crash of 2020, so I could have picked any tech stock and absolutely printed off of it, but I do think Prudential is still a pretty good one as well. So I've got it dripping. That means that dividend reinvestment plan, it just buys more shares every time that dividend comes in. This is a really good company. They do insurance. Insurance is always going to be there, and they're always going to keep making more and more money. So I'm all about this one. And Pamsura. So Pamsura is also a great animator, guys. He's if you watched my video from today, he's the one who animated the Wall Street Bets fuckboy dancing. But yeah, he says, what about NVIDIA? So NVIDIA is also a really good one too. I have a lot of exposure to NVIDIA through my other semiconductor ETFs, and I'll get to that one. But if you want semiconductor ETFs, or if you want semiconductor stocks, NVIDIA should definitely be on your buy list. Anyway, that's Prudential, so good company. All right, I think that pretty much every portfolio should have a strong foundation in those dividends I just described, and just as importantly, the Invesco QQQ ETF or SPY. So QQQ is the NASDAQ, and SPY is the S&P 500, of course. So I prefer tech stocks over other stocks. So when I have my foundation that I know is going to continue growing, no matter if I screw up all my trades or not, I go to QQQ. And this ETF is going to keep rising into the future. So I buy shares with it. Every time I have a gain of more than a couple $100, I'll buy a share of QQQ and then use the rest elsewhere. So I'm able to build, it's a pretty sizable position there. It's probably smaller than it needs to be for my portfolio size. I need to reallocate a little bit further into QQQ. But definitely a good long-term hold, and it's always going to keep growing. Here's the fun one I've recently started doing. So I've recently started doing strangles. And I started using strangles on cheap stocks like, what's it called? EWZ, the Brazil ETF, selling the 30 delta on either end. So I'm selling the call and I'm selling the put. All right, as long as the stock stays in between, I'll continue making money. Even if it does bust outside of those, you've got so many defensive maneuvers you can use by rolling up the untested side. You can roll out in time on the one that's getting busted. It's really hard to lose with with the strangle strategy. Now, I lost 19 times in a row. I was successful, taking gains at 25 or 50%, somewhere in between. One time I got blown out and I lost about $2,000. That was the amount of money that I had gained on my 19th successful trade. So all in all, I have about a 95% success rate on strangles. They're really not hard. I want to make a video on this one, but I definitely recommend look at the strangle strategy. Watch Tastyworks. It is hard to lose on the strangles, and if you just stick to the ETFs, it's even easier to win. So right now on this strangle that I opened up the day before yesterday, I think might have been a little bit earlier in the week, I've got $812 of gains on the put end. The stock had gone up, the puts decreased in value. I've profited there, and even though the stock has risen, it has not risen up enough to compensate for the loss in theta, which means I'm also making money on the theta decay on the call side, even though my QQQ shares have increased in price. So my goal here is a 25% gain. We're not quite there yet. I need another $300, and then I will close this spread and open up a new one at new strikes. And if I do make that $1,200, then what I'll do is take this gain, reinvest some into QQQ, and then some into another stock. So this is probably the most fun position I have open right now because it's so much easier than you think it is. Like strangles, they sound scary because it's unlimited risk. It's about as unlimited risk as you getting into a car and then getting hit by a meteor in the car. Like it's possible, but it's not realistic. And I don't think it's realistic that Triple Q is going to drop to $200 next week, and it's also not going to rise to $500 next week. So sell those strikes if you want to. All right, QQQX, this is it's a covered call ETF. It's very similar to QYLD, so I'll talk about these together. So QYLD and QQQX, they sell covered calls on Triple Q. So by owning shares of this, you're really owning shares of Triple Q and letting a company sell covered calls for you. The reason I don't do that myself is because I don't have to manage it. All right, I give them their 0.1% fee or whatever, and no matter what Triple Q does, they're going to keep managing that position for me. That way I don't have to put my own shares at risk. I let them put their shares at risk, and then they give me like 99.8% of their profit. So this is one that you should definitely have in the foundation of your portfolio. QYLD, QQQX, either one is just fine. I like QYLD a little bit better because the yield is higher. QQQX has just a little bit more growth, but a little bit less dividend. SMH is a semiconductor ETF, so this is where I have my exposure to AMD, to NVIDIA, to Taiwan Semiconductor, all those captured right here in SMH. So up big on it because I bought it about a year ago. An alternative to this is Soxl, S-O-X-L. So this is where you can even make a lot more money. I think Alex Seda just said that. If you want semiconductors, even more so, SOXL, it would absolutely crush. If the stock market crashes, SOXL is going way down. But this 74% gain I have here on SMH, if I had bought SOXL instead, it would probably be like 250%. So good alternative. SPHD is another dividend ETF. It owns the S&P 500 companies that pay high dividends and have low volatility. So this should also go in your foundational account. Leaps on SPY, I don't plan on selling these. They don't expire until the end of 2022. And when that day does come, I'm probably going to execute. When else are you ever going to be able to get SPY at $250 again? Like, you're not. So I'm going to take $75,000 and I'm going to buy 300 shares of SPY at $250 each. Now, the reason I'm not selling that to buy shares is because if I sell, I have to pay tax on $45,000 of gains. If I execute when the day comes, I don't have to pay tax on all that gains. I'll still have it, but it'll be unrealized gain because I never sold the shares. And then TQQQ, this is a little bit of an aggressive move. This is leveraged Triple Q. So by owning 444 shares of this, I own like 1,500 shares of Triple Q through it. So even though I'm down a little bit over here, I've been selling covered calls on it pretty regularly. And as you might imagine, they just print money. This thing expires next week, and it's still got 35% of its value left. So I anticipate getting another $546 from it. That money is going to go right back into shares. Tesla, I actually bought these. I was trying to wheel Tesla, and I just took the profit and bought shares. Now I have these 3 random shares of Tesla, and I'm not wheeling it anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I kind of like having them. UWMC I sold. That was just an 8 play that went wrong. And VEU, this is all of the ETFs of the world except for the United States. So it's my international exposure. I tried going straight for Brazil, China, and India ETFs instead of doing it all in one pile. But Brazil went into recession, China defaulted on its debt, and India got COVID again. So all those crashed, and now I've thrown it into VEU, and it's finally coming back up. Voyager this is similar to Coinbase. It's just it's a mobile-only Coinbase cryptocurrency platform, and it's fine. It's a decent platform, but the stock isn't doing so hot. I should have sold when I was up like 20%, but I held, and now I'm down 20%. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might sell it into the end of the year. And XLF, this is the finance ETF. So all the companies like Goldman and what else? Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, all those, Bank of America, the banks, all in XLF. So anyway, that's my portfolio. We could look at some other stuff if you guys want to. I can pull up the Seeking Alpha. I've got premium access, so we can even see what the quant has to say about it if you want me to look at some of your stocks. And I'll check out the questions. Trading View. Bought SMH in February, up 32%. That ETF is crazy. Yep, Andres got it right. Buy SMH if you want serious gain. And Sigma Mail said, what inspired you to make this channel? So I made Kamikaze Cash because I wanted to make money. And I started off by just making videos. I had no editing software. I had no idea what I didn't even have equipment. I was using like the default built-in mic, and the videos were just absolutely garbage. So, and they weren't even synced. Like I would speak and it wouldn't sync to my voice. My face and voice wouldn't sync together. So it was really, really bad quality videos. And I kind of gave up on it for a while. But I started it up again because I wanted to refer people to Robinhood when I started my Robinhood account. And that was all I wanted to do. I wanted to get a handful of referrals to Robinhood app. And then things just took off. So once I started making enough money that I felt like I could quit my job, that's exactly what I did. So, Company Man says, his emerging markets funds are ones that exclude China. I don't trust any financial info coming out of the country. You're probably right. So that's why buying shares of China in the summer was a bad idea. That's exactly what I did. So I made probably one of the worst investments. Let me open up Seeking Alpha. We can check out some stocks that you guys want to look at. Let me undox myself here. So this has been a really good tool here. Let me see. Let me fix. So Seeking Alpha, they gave me a premium account for doing a sponsorship. So now I'm able to see kind of they call it their quant data. So they bought this machine, this AI from, I'm not sure who it was, I don't remember the name, back in 2016, I believe. And now I can get all this really cool information. So if we look at something like Tesla, we can see what an AI has to say about it. And if we look at the ratings, all right, so the quant believes that since valuation is bad on Tesla, it's overvalued, therefore it remains a neutral position. But if you look at the profitability, momentum, and revisions, for a long time, it's been a really strong buy. But probably not the best example because the AI doesn't know what to do with a stock like Tesla. All right, let's do NVIDIA. Okay, so the quant still neutral on it because they believe that it's overvalued still, although it's leaning toward bullish. I mean, here's the thing. I would say NVIDIA is, it is definitely richly valued right now, but I don't see any reason why growth would decline. And in fact, even look at the quant. They even give an A- to growth. Profitability, momentum, revisions. The only knock on that the quant says is that the stock is very high priced. So, and I agree, but I think that's sustained by all of these other valuation factors, these growth factors. Profitability, momentum, revision. Yeah, I'd say, stay long NVIDIA. Maybe not ape into it right now. But what is CLF? Is that Cleveland Cliffs? Yeah. Okay, so the quant calls it a strong buy. They've been calling it a strong buy since $18. What is it now? 21. All right, so you've waited a while. But they've been calling this thing a buy for quite a bit, except at the very tippy top, they called it neutral again before it started coming off. But the quant seems to really, really enjoy this one. So that would give you a buy rating. I'm going to do Zim. I have no idea what Zim is. Some shipping company. Zim is not covered by Seeking Alpha's quant for some reason. Is it new? Or is it just weird? It might be too new for it. Do Riot. I think Riot is probably covered on here. And so Riot was, I don't know, it doesn't really like Riot a whole lot. It says it's not making any money. I think that might be correct. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of this. I've been wheeling Riot. I wheeled it for a while, probably since the summer, so maybe I got it at the right price. But imagine if you had wheeled Riot this whole time, you would have made so much money off of that. I think that's the right way to play all these Bitcoin miners right now. Petra. What is Proterra? I've never heard of that. Is that new as well? Yeah, that just started trading. Or was in the summer. I don't know. I guess like the quant, it takes its time figuring out what it wants to work with. Garbage tickers, guys, please don't forget. Don't get left bag holding. Yeah, I don't really know what these. We'll do a couple more of these. I've never heard of any of these stocks. What are these things? They should have coverage by now, but it looks like it's. The analysts are saying bullish to neutral, so it might be a buy. I don't know. Global Carbon ETF. It sounds like a pretty good idea to me. All right, AMC. There we go. A blue chip company. CEO and CFO dumping AM share means that apes have lost the plot. This is according to ASB Capital. Let's see what he has to say about it. AMC has been a sell for a while. A strong sell, apparently. Yeah, the quant got this one wrong. This one doesn't make any sense. Crazy Pasta says, do I know which algo is used in the most valuable medallion fund renaissance technology? I have no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea what that is. Alright, we'll do AMD, and then I want to see what Homeboy has to say about AMC, CFO dumping shares. So AMD is being called at this price right now. The quant is calling it very bullish. So even though the valuation is still rich, and I agree, growth, profitability, momentum, and I don't know even it has so many ratings for revisions. But this has been a strong buy, according to the quant, a strong buy from, it's been a buy since 83, strong buy since 97. Kind of came off a little bit. But right now, it has just flipped in the last, when? Like today? A couple days. For the last few days, it has been a strong buy at this price. So AMD could be a good one here. All right, let's see what Homie has to say about the CFO and CEO of AMC dumping shares. So, all right, he's going to dunk on us on Wall Street Bets a little bit. Notice how he's been saying strong sell since the company was at like $20. So he lost money on this play. Keep that in mind. But according to ASB Capital, he says a troubled business and high debt means shares have a long way to fall before they hit bottom. And he believes that fundamentals don't support the high share price on AMC. Well, congratulations on groundbreaking analysis. All right, faces major challenges from COVID. But he believes that apes are the things that are keeping this stock price afloat. Okay, he's not wrong about that. The CEO and CFO have finished dumping shares, becoming clear to retail traders that the stock is overvalued and they have no path to higher prices. He expects it to decline sharply. So revenue is the lowest it's been since 2000 and before 2006. So let's see. All right, AMC, what is this, stock price? Oh, shares outstanding. So they have dramatically increased. Did you guys know about this? There are now 5 times more shares outstanding than there were in the middle of 2020. I didn't know that they had diluted that much. That's where all their money is coming from. So the company sold all of its, or Dalian Group, which is the largest shareholder of AMC, dumped all of its stocks. Dumps all the stock. Oh, I gotta get. So I think Hop91 is probably getting ready soon. And guys, if you're still here at 2 o'clock, remind me, because I gotta do my final phone call with Booz Allen. I'll set my alarm clock there, because I have to tell them that I'm quitting to become a YouTuber. So Crazy Pasta says if the CEO is shorting it or is dumping shares, then we should short. I'm not shorting a ape stock, but that's up to you. All right, the CEO stock sales have changed the plot. All right. Okay, so here's the CEO's plan. He said in 5 years he hadn't sold any of the stock. He does not intend to sell any AMC shares in September of 21 when he's legally permitted. But as much as it pains me to admit, in September I'll be celebrating my 67th birthday. I'm going to be a young, vibrant 67, but hey, it's 67 nonetheless. 2 months ago, more than 85% of my net worth was in AMC stock. God, this guy must have printed money if 85% of his net worth is in AMC. He should diversify his assets. So he's going to use his shareholder plan. So he sold 625,000 shares, which is 60% of what he had at $40 per share. So really, it's not that much. I thought it was going to be like millions and millions. Oh, and then he sold another 325,000 at 30. So he sold a little bit under 1 million shares, 950,000 shares, at an average of like 47. So good for him. He printed some money there. All right, he sold more than 90% of the shares that he's ever owned. So what does that say about him? That's not diversifying. In my opinion, that's cashing out. And I think his great-grandchildren will have enough money now. All right. Am I live streaming the call? No, this is an old call. Yeah, but Christopher, yes, I did. I work at Booz Allen until Monday. But, all right. Sigma Male, if you ask me one more time if I have a big sausage, then I'm going to hide you from the channel because you're spamming the chat now. How's it feel? A little liberating, I guess. I can finally do what I want to. I mean, I could sit here all day and live stream. I don't care. It beats being at an office. Even though these live streams don't exactly make as much money as Booz Allen did, that's okay. All right, you guys want to look at something else here? Or we can just watch CNBC. I mean, it's up to you guys. We're waiting for Hop91 to join us. I know he's going to have a lot to say. Or, you know what? How about we do this? I owe 2 sponsors have already paid me. So let's do one of the sponsored segments while we wait for Hop91. And then we can start fresh from there. So, all right, the first one, I want to show you this. So this is actually a pretty good one. I mean, you guys absolutely hated, or some people really don't like when I describe cashback services. But this one is called Rewards Bunny, and there is something to it here. So keep an open mind here. When you sign up to Rewards Bunny, all right, if you make a purchase on any of these sites, so eBay, Walmart, if you shop online, basically, anywhere but Amazon, then you can get cash back by using them to get to that website. So if you want to make a purchase on eBay, you'd click over here, you'd go to the store on eBay. All right, and then see exactly what it's doing here is see, I'm waiting on cash back from eBay right now. It says missing, but that's not accurate. It's pending. You would click on it, you say I want to go to eBay, and you click on it, and now what it's done is it has now referred you to eBay. So whatever you purchase on eBay, Rewards Bunny is now your referrer, so they get a cut of whatever revenue you spend. And then they give that money back to you in either US dollars, Bitcoin, or Rewards Bunny. Now, I don't want Rewards Bunny coin. I don't think it does anything. They have plans for it, but every one of these things has plans for it. What I would do is if you plan on shopping on eBay or, let's go back, what else they got over here? Booking is a really big one. 7% cash back is huge. AliExpress, if you use any of these junior varsity Amazons, get the cash back and then take it out in Bitcoin or in dollars if you really want to. But I would be a little bit more aggressive and I would go with the Bitcoin. So I plan on doing that when I use this for my freeloader challenge. What I want to do is buy things with cash back from Rewards Bunny and cash back from BlockFi together. That'll give me the cash back that when I buy an item and then sell it back at the same price, I get to keep the difference. It's called rebating. So that's what I want to do here. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, you can check out the token if you really want to. They have big plans for it. But like I've said before, a lot of these companies always have roadmaps that they don't fulfill. So be cautious if you decide to buy into it. If you really want Rewards Bunny just for speculation purposes, get cash back in Rewards Bunny. I think the best thing about this website is that you can get cash back on stuff like 7% on booking. That's huge. So that's the way I'm going to approach it. I think it is worth definitely checking out. Here, I'll put their link right here. I'll pin it I'll just put it there. It's at least worth seeing. Keep an open mind about it. And yes, they did sponsor this video, but I think there's value here. So that's it for that one. We might come back to that one a little bit later if there's another audience. But for right now, yeah, it's worth it. Let's see what else they got on here just while I think of what to do next, because that only took me like 3 minutes. You guys want me to check any stores? They said that they have Amazon working. They're partnering with Amazon in the future. I don't know if I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but if it does, then you should 100% have a Rewards Bunny account. Now, I've got $5 on it. You get $5 just for signing up. So do that. Let them email you and take your $5 of Bitcoin. But so Company Man says, have I thought about doing a collab with Benjamin? Yeah, I've wanted to do a collab with Benjamin, but he's never replied to me. He doesn't really reply to anybody that tries to reach out to him. Another company that sponsored me wanted me to help them get in touch with Benjamin, and they couldn't do it on their own. It's pretty crazy. I don't know who Candace Richards is, but anyway, yeah, last thing I'll say about this Rewards Bunny, yeah, the token itself might be a promise token. I don't know anything about that, but the service that they have here is legit. So, I mean, look at that. Like, if you shop on AliExpress, 5% cash back. I mean, that's like everything being 5% off in the store. ASICs, ASOS, pretty much everything except Amazon. I think if they can land Amazon, then this will be a really big one. If you use Bitdefender, whatever the hell that is, almost 20% cash back. So good resource. All right, we'll come off of that one here. And then we will, let's see what comments we got as we wait for Hopped. Buck Star Chaser says he would deal with Viator if they delivered my goods via space train. I don't know what that means, but if anybody ever makes a space train, I'm going to do it. I'll invest in that. It's funny you mention that because when it comes to high-speed trains, my wife decided to invest in AECOM. You guys ever heard of this? ACM? AECOM or AECOM, something like that. She bought it at like, it was like here. It was like half the price it is now. I think it was even longer ago than that. I think it was like the rock bottom of 2020. She decided to invest into it. And it has been like her best investment, and it's definitely performing really well compared to what I've got to. So it's been a buy for a while. But this company does, they build the high-speed trains, they build the rail. So this could be a good option if you want to get in on the whole, what's it called, infrastructure rollout. Now that it's all funded, get in on something like this. Now you own the company that's going to build all this stuff. Win those multi-billion-dollar contracts. Service is legit, prevents mostly garbage CCP companies. Yeah, I think everybody says service is legit about everything. So, Stonked Up, thank you. Money gun time. Can always count on Stonked Up. I don't know what Stonked Up does for a living, but he makes a lot of money on cryptocurrencies. So if you see him in Discord, do like literally anything he says, because he'll make money for you. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Who is what is her name? Candace. Where are we at? Candace something? Candace Richards? Do I want to look at Candace Richards? Candace. Let's see if she's on Seeking Alpha. No, she's not. Alright. This is going to be my risky click. Alright, Candace Richards. Diversity, equity, inclusion lead. Oh, were you kidding when you said that? Because I am now looking for Candace Richards' investing strategy. And we're on. We'll go back to Seeking Alpha. All right, Steve Damon, thank you very much for the super chat and for the question. There you go. He said, would I ever consider tutorials using unusual whales or collaborating with unusual whales? I probably would collaborate with them. I mean, they're pretty good. They have a good service, but I haven't really used it personally. Sigma Mail tricked me. I was collaborating with another company at one point called Whale Streams. Very, very similar to Unusual Whales. They actually had really good information. The problem I had is I didn't have time at that point to really make any content for them. So I just did one live stream, and it was good. I mean, we can actually even go there if you want to. I have to go and we can check that out. I mean, why not? Why not? What was it called? Whale Streams. Yeah, give me a minute while I pull up my account on Whale Streams. I do still have it, and I mean it's a good service. I just didn't have a lot of opportunity at the time to actually work with it. So let me get my account pulled up, and then we can start with them. It is actually like good data to pull. Whale Stream. Do you guys use unusual whales or anything like that? Jeez. Because I've heard like mixed feelings about all these services. I think Whale Streams I think they're both pretty good personally. If you're willing to spend the money, you'll probably get your money's worth. There, I'll pin that. That's my Whale Streams invite. But let's check out the service. Get rid of the privacy. Okay. So once you're in, so this is what it does. You get. Let's check out the dashboard. So if there's a stock that you want to play, you're not sure is now the right time to buy. What are the options indicating? So if we look at, all right, let's I don't know, you guys have asked about AMC before, so let's see what the options market is telling us about AMC. So, all right, so somebody today bought, expiring next week, 353 $27 strike calls using a sweep. So they did multiple trades. They ended up buying, what is it? They spent $77,000 on all of these. So slightly out of the money. The stock was $26.41 when they bought it. And they bought these out of the money $27 calls. So it's a pretty bullish move. But if we look at the rest of these, people are buying like $400,000 worth of puts expiring next week. Pretty much at the money. I mean, these are all extremely bearish positions. So what does that tell you about the sentiment of the market on AMC right now? Is this a good long position? I mean, look, for days. Expiring today, somebody bought puts at the $30 in the money puts. So really, really bearish sentiment right now on AMC. But this is the type of data that it gives you. So, I mean, if we see what AMC has done for the day, why don't we do that? What AMC is, so it's dropped 10% on the day. So all these people that were buying puts, these in-the-money puts, they've all made money. All these ones throughout the day. The only one who lost money is this AMC guy, and he bought it at 11:30. So he bought a call at 11:30 when the stock was at the very bottom. So he might actually be okay. I'm not sure. If we look at another one, let's just look at SPY. Keep it simple. Let's see. All right, so lots of, am I like on? All right, so lots of puts being purchased right now on SPY as well. All of these, am I like on? Wow. All right, so a lot of very bearish activity in the last, was it 11:46? It's not even 11:46 yet. It's like ocean time or something. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1:46. So over the past couple of hours, people have become very, very bearish on the SPY. So if we see what SPY has done today, around 11:46, they were all bearish on it. And it looks like the stock has only gone up. So what is this actually telling us about it? Maybe we'll see an end of the day dump going into Friday. So anyway, here's some questions. Let's see. Ticker, attendees app. Looks like Hop91 is ready. Oh, it's 3 minutes. Okay. My bad, man. All right, let's get Hop91 on here. Bring us some quality content. Give me a second to get him organized. We're going to invite him via Discord. Let me get my privacy window up while we get him in here. Yes, I use the browser version of Discord. I don't download bloatware. Some bitch-ass app. All right, let's see. How do we get him in? Can you do video, Hopped? Or yeah, you could do video. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even volunteered to do this. All right, there's my man. All right, let's get you popped out here. Let's get you popped out here so that we can get you on screen correctly. Thank you for joining. How was your conference call?
It was good. It was like an independent documentary that, I mean, if you want, I'll forward your info again.
Oh, it's that same thing. Okay.
It's another one. There's like 8 of these fucking things that are floating around.
Dude, I will never forget the last time we did something like that. We ended up getting hit on by a girl who looked like Shrek. I will never.
Hit on by a girl like Shrek. She didn't want me.
No, we were in this together, man. Don't leave me hanging.
That was a fun night, though.
That was an awesome time. So Hopped and I were in a duck. Can you guys hear him? Okay, he sounds a little muffled even on my end.
Am I muffled?
I don't think it's you. I think it's me. I'm getting you set up here. Uh-oh. Did you change your camera? Nope, you're back.
No.
Okay. No, we lost you for a sec. That's okay.
Put this stupid green screen on. I can take it off if you want.
No, we're good. We're good. Hold on. I'm just getting you set up.
Go outside.
I don't think it's that. It's cool. We're good. All right, raise volume on the caller, turn off music. All right, we're going to cut the music here. We're going to cut off our Chinese music we've been listening to. And now it looks like we've got Hopped here. I can raise his volume a little bit. Let's do that.
Bro.
All right. How's that? I think I just got him.
Sweet. What are you making money on, dude?
What am I making money on? So I've recently started doing a whole bunch of strangles, which have been working out well for me. I remember one time you were talking with somebody else, I think it was Ed, about doing strangles. You guys were a little bit skeptical. You remember that strategy?
Yes. You're selling premium there? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm selling a call and a put at the same time. Where did Hop go? Son of a bitch. My bad, man. Let me get you back on here. No, it's my fault. I'm not used to having
I'll
people.
watch the stream on my phone while you...
There we go. I'm just going to leave you on like that. And that'll work, I think.
Okay.
It'll be fine. And now he's frozen. What a mess. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close this window. And I'm going to reopen. I'm just going to reopen Hopped.
Don't let me get in the way of the due diligence.
You're absolutely not getting in the way. I've been waiting for you. I'm sitting here like covering things from months ago. Because we're just hanging out, waiting for Hopped. All right, I think I finally got you set up. So I'm still an amateur at this whole thing. But I got you now. All right, so I've been using the strangle strategy lately. You know, we've been in this this kind of kangaroo market. Stocks going up and down for a while. So volatility has increased. Premiums are high on both ends because people expect big moves. And I got no problem selling calls to the bulls and selling puts to the bears at the same time. As long as the stock doesn't go crazy in one direction, then I'll be all set. So I've been doing that one really well. Let me get matter of fact, let me get look at my portfolio again real quick. I'll show you. So I've been using the strangle strategy on triple Q. I sold 406 calls and 379 puts, and both right now are looking at gains. So I'm happy with those.
Yeah, the big indices haven't really moved too much.
Despite all the jumping up and down, they really haven't.
Have the premium levels been good on individual stocks too, like the meme stocks?
They're probably the best they've ever been, honestly, or best in a while. Well, not the best they've ever been, but they've been high. I mean, you've got big moves on a whole bunch of different tickers. Let's check that out. Let's see. I could just pull up Robinhood. It'd probably be even easier. Let's do Robinhood.
I'm hoping this is finally it. This is like the big moment where, like everybody who invested in AMC gets wiped out, and all the apes that are in GME get wiped out.
Yeah, make Wall Street Bets great again.
For the stock market.
It would be great for Wall Street Bets.
It'd be great for everybody. It'd be great for the world, actually, I think. If GameStop went to like zero and AMC went bankrupt, I think that would be... I
still got 5 shares, man. Don't do that to me. But I feel you. Totally.
How many shares do you have?
Of GameStop? Just 5. I don't have a whole lot. I could lose it and like not blink.
Okay.
But let's see. Let's look at what the premiums are like on AMC's. The stock has dropped 10% today. And so a call expiring in the next 2 hours and 10 minutes out of the money is trading for $26. So it's not crazy aggressive, but people are counting on a little bit of a bounce. Let's see what the puts look like. And then the puts are definitely, it's skewed toward puts right now. So people are expecting more crashing through the end of the day.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, I could see it. I'm right there with you. I mean, Wall Street Bets has really taken a hit in terms of its quality. Or, it's getting better now. I've remained optimistic the whole time. I think it's getting better now than it used to be. Like around this time, 8 months ago, it was just a complete disaster. Every stock going up 2%.
That's what we're trying to do with the app. With the app, we're trying to like, if you've been subscribed to Wall Street Bets before GME, we're trying to give like a separate chat on the app for you to just be able to converse with people that like know about the community and aren't just buying and holding stock. I mean, dude, that'd be considered an insult back in the day if you told somebody to fucking hold stock. Like hold stock? What are you talking about? This is a community of people that were buying options that were going to expire in 2 days. And now there's like a whole community built around holding stock. It's like, come on, that's really fucking boring. I want to see destruction.
As a Theta Gang person, I'm always going to advocate that people actually hold shares in their accounts. But when it comes to making content for Wall Street Bets, there's it's funny how we saw an organization that I thought was or lack of organization that was already pretty low in terms of its performance get even worse throughout 2021, because after everybody stopped making money in like January, we had an entire point in time when people were aping into stocks that had no business rising. I mean, AMC being a perfect example of that. And now
BlackBerry, fucking all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in time where BlackBerry, GameStop, and like Bed Bath and Beyond were the way to go. I mean, that was it. It was like it was year 2000 all over again. It was really weird.
That's fine. I like that actually. But it's like for brief periods of time. Like, how sad would it be if there's still some like influencer on Instagram or Twitter that's like telling people to buy Bed Bath and Beyond?
I mean,
it's like sad. It's just depressing.
So what's your hold right now then? What's the big one?
I mean, I'm still looking for the world to reopen. I mean, maybe I'm getting beaten down by Dr. Fauci every single day, but like the Norwegian stock is like still
NCL,
still makes sense to me, but it's down big time.
I mean, Norwegian. So what are they doing? NCLH. So Norwegian Cruise. This was one that I remember when it dropped below $10. My mouth was watering. I couldn't wait to buy it, and then I ended up like selling it when it hit 12, and I was like, yeah, that's how we make money. Now the thing, it was up at like $40 at one point, wasn't it?
Maybe
yeah,
not.
It was like 33.
Close.
Yeah, it was in the mid 30s. Yeah. Are you selling covered calls?
Nope, not anymore. I had to withdraw all the money for a little bit to get my new place.
Did you have the baby
easing
yet?
back? Believe it or not, I've been buying cryptocurrency. I've been buying like Bitcoin during this drop.
I mean, I'm right there with you on Bitcoin. Yeah. So I've been freeloading Bitcoin.
If you're looking for like a big move to happen in the near future, I can't think that Norwegian or any of the cruise liners are a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, it's funny you mention that because I've been looking at Norwegian. So they're still running these huge promos the way they were still having them in like mid 2020 when the company really needed to make money as quick as they could. They were selling these like 2 tickets for the price of 1. I still have mine, and we're starting to look at them now. And now they're offering a lot of other freebies with it. So demand must not be there for them to be giving out all this free stuff, but it's going to return as soon as people can get back on the boats without having to be worried about it getting canceled because of COVID or something like that.
And it's like, I feel like it's already endemic. I feel like the pandemic is like more or less, I don't want to say over because people are still dying from it, but it's like at some point it starts to, I mean, look at the Spanish flu as a model. I mean, the Spanish flu took like 2 years, maybe 3 if you want to like really stretch it out, and then it was over, and it's like it became the flu.
I mean, it's funny. I was listening to the radio yesterday, and even the medical experts were even saying like we're getting to the point where our goal is no longer to eradicate coronavirus, it's to make it as undangerous as the common cold. Like get people vaccinated as much as you can, but they're pretty much resigning to the fact that we're not going to be able to wipe it out completely. I wish we could, because I don't want like the coronials to be a generation. But it's getting to the point where I think people are kind of like giving up on the idea of completely wiping it out. And what does that mean for the travel industry? I don't know, because every country is going to have a different approach to it. You're going to have the Europeans always being a lot more strict than we are.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of these economies rely on people moving and coming to visit, and it's like at some point, okay, like we can print the money to hold you over, but it's like that combined with the fact that the viruses tend to get more more viral but less deadly over time. Like that's the trend. It's like there was never in my opinion, I don't think there was ever a chance that we were going to have zero COVID. It's got animal reservoirs. So even if you vaccinate every single human being on Earth, like the virus can go into animals and then spread back to humans once it's manipulated or evolved or mutated.
So you would yeah, I got you. I mean, neither of us are epidemiologists. We both know like 3% of what we're talking about. But
yeah,
that's how it's going to be. But no, I understand what you bring up a good point though. You said that a lot of the European countries and probably a lot of the East Asian countries too, they need their tourism. So at some point they're going to have to throw in the towel here and say if we want to get our economies on track, we need to start bringing people back for their tourism, and that means cruises start going back to Europe.
And ironically, these are some of the places where like people are skinny and they don't eat too much, and so they're not really dealing with the worst effects of COVID. I mean, people that are dying in the United States are all old and they're all fat and they're all pretty big. So it's like, you solve those problems, and then pretty much you've resolved the big problem of a respiratory virus, and this one in particular.
So if you could solve obesity you'd save a lot more lives than by solving COVID, which I mean is a really that's a super lofty goal. But I mean, you are right though. Like I mean, in the U.S., I think one of the reasons that we are so obese in general is because our country was built for cars, so we're always driving anywhere we want to go. In Europe, when I lived in Europe, you walked everywhere, and you didn't.
Bike.
Or bike, yeah, or you bike everywhere. Like if you see an adult biking in the U.S., unless you're in a city, like adults biking in the suburbs is like kind of weird. But in Europe, they bike everywhere, so they're burning a lot of calories more than we are. And just another 200 a day, that adds up over time to keep you from getting too hefty.
Russell Dean Harris in your chat makes a good point. He says there will always be COVID as a scapegoat. God damn it, he lost his comment. Hold on. There'll always be COVID as a scapegoat for sure. Oops, Fed can't taper more COVID. That's exactly right. That's what it seems like to me. Is like everybody's using it as an excuse. I mean, like they're blaming the supply chain issue on it, which, I mean, that might solve your obesity problem right there.
Well,
if we can't get food.
If Rusty Russ is right, though, then that's actually really good news. I gotta use my face app to open my phone here. Then Rusty Russ is he's helping us out by telling JPOW to always keep tapering, or not tapering. I gotta remove my hat to use my face app.
Keep printing money.
Yeah, and you can keep blaming COVID for it.
There's nothing wrong with that logic.
I'm cool with it.
Just keep printing money, saying it's for COVID, and just come up with new strains every time.
Well, our kids might be screwed, but I mean, we gotta look out for number one over here at some point, right?
I mean, come on, dude. That's what the boomers did to us.
If
the boomers could do it to us, we can do it to Z.
And speaking of kids, did you have your kid yet?
Yes.
How old? How many months ago?
She's now almost 6 months.
Oh, it's been that long. I haven't talked to you in ages.
Yep, it's been a minute. About 5 months old now.
Nice.
So she's born.
I'm paying attention to you, but I'm supposed to be dialing into this phone call where I quit my job.
Yo, are you gonna live stream you quit your job?
I'm gonna mute the first couple of minutes to make sure that they're not like, all right, so we've got your social security number as blah 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 blah. But then, yeah, I'm probably gonna live stream the remainder of that conversation.
Dude, let's do that. That's gonna be great content.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we only have 95 people watching, so maybe if I get some good content here.
Oh, by the way, download the app, please. I need your help.
Yeah.
I need you guys to get the fucking app downloads.
We haven't talked about attendees at all yet. All right, my wife is telling me not to live stream myself quitting my job, so. I already know what she's doing, I see her. All right, so call in audio, click to join meeting. Microsoft, I'm not joining Microsoft Teams. I'm going to figure this out. You want me to put on like some CNBC or something while I handle this?
I'll play with your chat if you want while you talk to them.
By all means, please do.
Do they know you're going to quit, or is this like...
No, they know. This is just it's like the final out interview where they ask like, we just want to make sure that you're not quitting because you were like sexually harassed or something like that. It's an HR thing.
You should say you were sexually harassed and then take the money you get for the settlement and put it on AMC puts.
All right, that's my recommendation. My wife is asking me not to live stream myself with my final interview, so I'll just stay on mute the entire time, and then we'll come back to it. I'll be an adult here. Yeah, hang out there. I got to figure out how to dial into this thing. Here, I'll just mute myself. All right.
Play with all the rage. All the rage you're going to get played with, don't worry.
Yeah, about it. And guys, trust me, Hop91 can talk forever. So hit him with questions.
Let me know. What's on your mind? What's on the mind of the average Kamikaze Cash viewer? That's what I want to know. Oh my god, it's going to be on Reddit. What's going to be on Reddit? Put it on Freeloader Challenge. We could do that too. Intrepid, what's up, bro? How you doing? He says, Haupt, are you a Bitcoin maxi now? Only in... He's gonna
audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound.
Are you guys hearing this? I gotta tell him to get off because I can hear his phone call.
To continue in English, press 1.
He's coming in through me. Hold on. There we go. All right, let's see. How many lulls ruined by a reasonable wife? Shake my head. So true, dude. So true. Am I a Bitcoin maximalist? Only with respects to inflation, because inflation's going through the roof. Inflation is going through the roof. You've heard it here first. Okay, that's a hot take. You can't find anywhere else but Kamikaze Cash and Mikey Millions channel. Inflation is bad, and Bitcoin is a good hedge against inflation. I mean, is there anything more to say? Like, this is a very upsetting market in the sense that it's so predictable in some ways. You know, it's like things are crazier than ever. Don't get me wrong. Like, we live in a clown economy right now. We are in clown economy. And if you have any question about that, look no further than who the head honcho is of clown economy, Elon Musk. But with respects to like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, like yeah, it's the currency of clown world. It's the currency of clown economy. And we can't push, too far with regards to like the world we live in. Most of us are kind of just born into an environment and have to react to it. Well, one of the environments we're in right now is hyperinflation, whether they want to admit it or not. That's coming, that's here, and it's something you have to hedge against. So that's my opinion on that. Brett McDaniel says, how long until Tendies has an app on Android? We're working on that. We should have that within a few months. M-Teeth says, I'm kind of interesting in payment systems such as AXP, MA, Square, Visa, and PayPal. Are they a good time to buy? It is still worth to invest. If I parse that out, I think that I'm getting that you want to buy a payment system, like a POS, point of sale, money management system, maybe that uses interchange, right? Me personally, I've always been a huge bull on Square. And believe it or not, I've always been a huge bull on Jack Dorsey as an executive and as somebody who's a good thinker. So I can get behind Square. I haven't looked at the market cap recently, and I don't know if maybe now is the best time to invest, but I would say that you couldn't really go wrong with considering Square as part of a growth portfolio. Just my 2 cents. Is there a betting site where I can bet on Elon Musk will say something whack? Yeah, you can find it on your local Robinhood app under ticker symbol TSLA. That's basically the barometer. That's like a measuring stick for how crazy Elon Musk is. It's the stock. It's the Elon Musk stock. I'm sure he's not finished here. Okay, good. Intrepid says Square is dumped recently. True. Square has dumped recently. Liberty Bell says 121, 22, Ford $25 calls looks pretty good right now. I'm so tired of let me look at the stock price here. I'm so tired of car companies, man. Damn, look at that. Look at that run up. God. This is so frustrating to me because I've been looking to get into Ford for pretty much, if you look at the 5-year chart on a Ford stock, that entire time of like going up and down, up and down, up and down for like 5 years between December 2016 and February of 2020, I was like a buyer of Ford stock. I was huge. I thought it was like, I'm like, what is going on here? Why does Tesla have the market cap it does? And why does Ford have the market cap it does? And like, I ended up being a huge loser during the pandemic. And yeah, had I bought the dip on Ford, I guess you would have been pretty smart. I don't know how much further it's going to go up, though, bro. Be careful on that one. Ricardo Cortez says, is it a good time to buy Twitter? I mean, I don't like the new CEO. I don't know if you guys like the new CEO or not. Maybe you're into, like, censorship and shit, but that does not bode well to me. Today they're down 2.8%. That's not good. And I don't like the direction of the company. I think the guy doesn't have what Jack Dorsey has. He lacks that je ne sais quoi. He lacks the ability to have foresight. I think the big one you want to look at is the Trump SPAC and Rumble. And, I mean, that's really about it. There's going to be a backlash to this whole major movement by these huge social media companies to censor. And I guess the hope you have to have is like that you're participating in the right stock or that you're getting in at the right time. That backlash is in its infancy. But at some point, there's going to be something's got to give with regards to like pushing back against Twitter, pushing back against Facebook, YouTube, all the censorship nonsense that's been going on, Reddit. Like, there's got to be a pushback against that. But ironically enough, it seems like the closer you are to being IPO'd, the more likely you are to censor. I mean, I got banned on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure they're getting ready to IPO. Some of the worst things that have happened to like Twitter people and YouTube people and Facebook people have happened after their IPOs. That's when all the censorship starts. And it's because they want to maintain access to that sweet, sweet Federal Reserve money, man. And the only way to get that is by being close to the public markets, and you have to play by their rules, and their rules are SJW, fucking, censor anything that is to the right of Karl Marx, all that shit. So I think that the next big play in social media is whatever the backlash is to what's happening. And maybe that's the Trump SPAC. I've heard some of the more extreme platforms like Gab have been like saying that they're controlled opposition, but you never know how psycho those people are. There's a lot of nuttiness to go around, right? Let's see. Also, new Twitter CEO is a moron. He does look kind of stupid, doesn't he? If you were to pull up a picture of the new CEO, we'll try to get Mikey to put up a new picture. He does look kind of stupid, doesn't he? Kind of like a doofus. Christopher says, Apple 200 calls by 31st. Let's take a look. By the 31st, you need a, what is that, like a 10% gain? A little bit more than you need like a 12 or 13% gain by the 31st? I mean, bro, sure. This is not financial advice, but I think you should take your life savings and bet that you're going to get a $200 Apple price by the 31st. That's a good idea. Very smart. That can't go wrong. Doubtless that's going to go wrong. Gavin Harper says, love your channel, and I agree entirely. Thank you, Gavin. I've never met a Gavin I didn't like. Did you know that? Every Gavin I've ever come across in my life, I've thoroughly enjoyed and has been nothing but a joy to be around. Rusty says, Apple not going to 200, don't be an idiot. I mean, you can be an idiot. There's a lot of people that are idiots that are making money in this market. Anybody that bought SHIB, okay? Anybody that bought Doge a few months ago, I would classify you, if you're an early investor on Doge and you put any significant amount of money on it, I don't want to say you're an idiot, but it's like, why? Why would you do that? But then look at the results. Listen, you guys have to get something through your head. This is clown economy. It's clown. Everything you're looking at is clown. You look at the Federal Reserve and see like a big statue and like of granite marble and a beautiful example of our power as a country. I look at it and I see a circus tent. I see a circus tent full of clowns, and Jerome Powell comes out with his clown shoes on, and everyone honks. It's like honk, honk, honk. And then he comes and he says, okay, we're going to print more money, folks. And then the line comes out and fucking he brings out the printer and it's just a clown show. The economy is clown, and who wins in clown world is other clowns. So when you're down on your luck and you're doing due diligence and you don't know what's going to happen, what I'm encouraging you to do is to think clown. What would a clown do in this situation? What would a complete degenerate moron do right now? And then do that thing. And I can't think of anything stupider than thinking that Apple is going to increase its price 13% in the next 20 days. So I'm thoroughly behind the idea. Thoroughly behind it. Cyberhawk says it absolutely cannot go tits up. So I get all my financial advice from Cyberhawk on YouTube chat, which is pretty based. What else do you guys got? Liberty Bell says, just make a few million dollars as fast as you can, invest into a strong index fund comfortably, and then live off the dividends. That's the dream, baby. That is the dream. So the play is to go full clown. You go full clown in the beginning, and then you take your gains, your lotto winnings, and what do you do with them? You put them right in that sexy index fund that's going to pay that sweet, sweet 2% dividend year over year. Now, inflation might eat up that dividend a little bit. You know, if we're going to see inflation of 10% year over year, that's going to be a little bit tough on your 2% yield. But don't worry, the CPI will come out with a nice 1% print, and everything will be kosher. We don't have to raise Social Security. We'll make up the numbers as we go. We have a high GDP in an environment where we're printing money hand over fist, and we live in a service-based economy, so the money's made up anyways, and it's all fake shit anyways. That's what we're doing here. We're going full clown mode, Renee. That's right. See, Renee's got it. Why can't you guys get it? Why don't you guys get it? Christopher says, "Guh." It's a hat trick says, I imagine this is not financial advice. It actually is financial advice, but it's not. It's not financial advice. 100%. Can you hear me, Mikey?
I can hear you. Yeah, it sounds like you're on a roll.
How'd it go?
So it was probably one of the least dramatic phone calls I think I've ever had. It was just HR. They were doing exactly what I said. They just wanted to make sure that I was treated fairly at the company, and they wanted to know where I was going, how much, like, what my benefits were at my next company, and my salary. I was like, it's funny you ask because I don't get any benefits on YouTube. It's all up to me now.
Liberty Bell says, doesn't S&P 500 average 8% returns? Yeah, but not in the dividend yield. I think that's 8% returns, including unrealized gains.
That's correct.
I don't think it does 8% either. I think it does like 6, 7.
It depends on the time frame you're looking at. A lot. I mean, if you're looking at like the average return over the last 10 years, I think it's like 9% or something. But if you're looking at the average return over the last 50, it's lower.
When we transitioned into clown economy, we've seen more steady. God, yeah, the returns are pretty great. They've been fluctuating for quite some time.
But I mean, if you look at what we've done since 2018, like I think 2018 was kind of like the last time the market went down, other than that flash crash of 2020. Like that was the last time. 2016, 2017, 18 was the last time we really saw bear markets. Ever since then, it's been like this unsteady trajectory, just straight up. Like the way I see it, if you're not making money, right? I mean, a lot of it is, yeah. But I mean, one way or another, we're going to get hit by inflation. We might as well have our money somewhere that's going to keep up with inflation.
Right. If shit really hits the fan, though, you're going to want to have real assets. I'm wondering how much that's going to play into people's decision making with money.
Guns. Keep guns. That's your realest asset out there.
There you go. I got to get me a gun, dude. I don't know what I'm going to buy.
AR-15.
There you go.
I mean, you look at TQQQ. I mean, TQQQ in 2017, so really not that long ago, $11 per share. Now $165. So over the past 4 years, you could have, what is that, 15x your money by sitting in there. So put $100,000 into TQQQ. The thing is worth $1.5 million right now over the past 4 years. So you're talking like AMC level gains between early January and mid January, just by buying and holding a ticker.
Like, do you feel like the way I feel, like we're kind of in a calm before some major economic storm?
Dude, I've felt that way for like years, and I have yet to actually see. Like, I mean, I think a lot of us probably do. It feels like we're in a bubble again, but the bubble keeps bubbling. And even when you listen to people who are a little bit more cautious, they all say, wait until stocks go down and then buy back in again. Like nobody's really saying, there's a few people out there that are really calling for this long-term bear market, but I think they're few and far between. The demand for stocks is higher now than it's ever been. And it's also easier to invest. You can get every teenager out there throwing whatever money they want to at stocks. And that's not something that we've ever had before smartphone apps with commission-free trading. So you've got a big pool of people that are willing to buy and bump up all the prices.
I would agree with all of that, but the silliness and things like NFTs and like the real, like pretty much anything besides Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency world just terrifies me. It's like it really does seem like we're in some sort of a fever dream, like a fever. You know what I mean? Like we're in like this weird.
It's a little bit too much for comfort. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and it's like it's not even because I'm an investor in any of those things. It's because it's like, this does not portend well that like people that are invested in fucking Mongoose coin are making more than somebody that's serving my food. I
guess you. I mean, the trick in 2020 to really making money was to buy any cryptocurrency with a dog in it. That's all you have to do, and you would make. I mean, I think SHIB. If you bought like $1 worth of SHIB on its ICO day, it would be worth like $500 million or something like that. Like something crazy. I mean, nobody did that, except for the developers themselves. But you've probably got some of the richest people in the world right now are people who are just big shareholders in SHIB and Dogecoin and whatever else. It's all in cryptocurrencies and they can't sell it unless they tank their own coin's price. But it's there. The money's there.
I'm wondering if all these new people that you're like, I feel like there's a giant funnel of people that have come in from the retail revolution this year,
Mm-hmm.
and like by the end of it is you, like you're Theta Gang, right? Like you're the end result of like after you've gone through, you lost your money buying calls and puts, you've lost your money trading penny stocks, you've gone through
Mm-hmm.
all the series of hells, and then you finally arrive to the conclusion that Mikey Millions has been preaching about, where it's like using options to be smart as opposed to using them to be kind of like, as lotto tickets.
I mean, I think I think most people will eventually get to the point, if you are consistent about learning more about options, you're eventually going to get to the point where you're selling calls and puts.
Yes.
Like, eventually you'll get there. But I think most people don't have that risk tolerance. Most people do want to just buy and hold and collect dividend. And that's fine. I mean, as long as you're doing that, you're going to be okay. We just looked at the SPY chart. Anybody who bought SPY is doing just fine. You don't need to be selling put credit spreads. As long as you're doing something, you'll get to where you need to be. I mean,
These people, I feel like they're coming here though. They want the excitement. They do buy in on the notion of like getting rich quick. They want to get rich faster than the S&P 500 will allow them to.
Yeah, oh, totally. I mean, you can absolutely do that with options too. But a lot of those people that do end up making money like that, they're on the drug dealer mentality. They'll stay in the game until they get caught, and you don't want to get caught selling drugs, and you don't want to get caught with put credit spreads with 100% of your buying power when the stocks tank. And the market can move 4% in a day. And when that happens, if you're not taking money out from those gains and putting them into dividend stocks and ETFs, you will end up getting those nasty 75% losses in a week if you're not careful with it.
I mean, man, that's a terrifying prospect. But to me, that's kind of like what these people are looking for. And at some point, I'm wondering how much of those people get captured by Theta Gang. Because I'll tell you, I think a lot of them are really dumb. Like, they're really dumb. When I look on Twitter and I look on Instagram, these are not smart people for the most part. And so, like, your world is about to blow up, in my opinion. I got to think that you've been, like, selling options contracts to these people is like, yeah, for sure, you put yourself at risk because you're selling options. But, like,
I mean, where do you think our money comes from?
The level of risk reward has got to be through the roof for you guys at the moment.
But, I mean, look at the $120. Let's look at Triple Q. I mean, where do you think we're making all this money from? It's from people buying some pretty ridiculous options. Like, look, all right, expiring today. All right, so expiring in less than 2 hours. Can we make Triple Q is probably not the best example of this, but let's take a quick look. So somebody will give me money, not a whole lot of it, but something for selling them a. No, that's a really bad example. Let's look at. I've done this with Tesla before. So Tesla. So sometimes, like if I expected to be able to get free lunch, but I end up having to buy lunch, I don't want to take that loss. So I'll sell. This is a great example right now. We've got less than 2 hours until market close on expiration day. Somebody will give me lunch money if I'm willing to sell them a 975 strike put expiring in less than 2 hours. Not a whole lot of money here, but if you want free lunch, you can get it by selling them one of these. Pretty much guaranteed at this point. I mean, the stock is not going to drop 4% in the next 2 hours unless Trump tweets, and he's banned from Twitter. So we're good.
So true.
So all we got to do, if you want free lunch, go ahead and sell them this absolute garbage position. What this is probably doing, it's not somebody speculating that Tesla's going to tank in the next 2 hours. It's somebody who's ready to wrap up their position. They sold one of these prior, now they just want to buy it back for $10 and get out of the position. That's probably what it actually is. But I'm perfectly content to sell it to them. Literally,
but you can sell it for $10 right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in Robinhood, I can't. I don't have enough money in this account. But in my Merrill Lynch account, yeah, I mean, I could do that. You can sell it. I mean, if you can go way down here, and if you only need $5, you can sell them at $9.50. I don't think Tesla's been $9.50 in like months. But yeah, I mean, you can.
And these people can't even like. I mean, I guess they can. They can afford a $10 option if they're gonna. Somebody's buying it, obviously. Is that like an open order when you see that price, or is that just the middle ground between?
That's between the bid. That's between the bid and the ask. The bid is $4. So if you want $4 to buy a Red Bull, you can sell this complete trash. Now you're not going to make money off of doing that either. $4 at a time. It's not really you're not really making anything. But yeah. So Kyle Shepard asks, he says, "Is this picking up pennies in front of a steamroller?" Yes, it is. But I don't think the steamroller is going to reach $9.50. I don't think Tesla's dropping $65 in the next 2 hours. So are you picking up pennies in front of a steamroller? Yeah, you are. But I'm really far away from the steamroller right now.
Yeah, the steamroller has never been dumber, slower, or more predictable. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like,
yeah,
the operator of the steamroller is like 90 years old, and can't see out of his left eye. It's just you're okay. It seems like you're okay.
And if the steamroller did hit 950, if Tesla drops to 950, it's not like I lose $95,000. I would just be assigned to buy shares at 950. And if that were to happen, I could roll to next week. You know, what's an at the money put going for expiring next week? So at the money currently, $3,222. So if I were to get assigned that way, I could sell a covered call at the money or roll, and I would get like more than $3,000 for doing it. So it's not, you're not really picking up pennies in front of the steamroller. You know, you can steal the steamroller if you need to, if it gets to that point. But
is there a metric that gauges actual volatility versus implied volatility on like a broad market spectrum so that we could see like this year compared to last year? I think Liberty Bell is kind of touching on what I'm talking about. Is like, he was swing trading options in 2021, but it didn't really work throughout the year.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if like
you're probably talking about IV rank that compares where IV is now, implied volatility is now compared to the historical volatility. So you'd be able to rank it and say, yeah. So you'd say like right now the volatility of stocks is, you know, I don't know, 50%. So right now we are perfectly aligned between where implied volatility is now versus where it is across history. But I would imagine that in, you know, February 2020, volatility was probably in the 90+% bracket. So it's higher now than it's ever been before, kind of deal. I think right now volatility is probably pretty close to the middle. But I don't have that. I don't know how to get that information without paying for it. If somebody does, please drop it in chat, because I would love a resource right now that could tell us what the IV rank is across the market. So I don't know about that.
I guess it would be like some VIX. But like VIX would kind of be that, but it's like VIX is a weird algorithm in and of itself, so I wouldn't really trust that. What I'm really
This
getting
is
at is like
Robinhood gives you a warning. It's risky and may not be for all investors. That's funny.
Robinhood is, dude, you want to talk about like, I thought this company was going to be smart. I mean, this company's horrible, dude. They're awful. Robinhood is trash as a company, I have to say. Like, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt because I didn't like the apes that were coming in and giving them criticism. But they've done nothing with their IPO money.
Yeah, they really haven't. I mean, look at this. This fall, it's 50% down.
They're closing all the time too. They're shutting down. They're getting messed up. So we're like the attendees. We ultimately want to turn that into a brokerage app once we get enough people to sign on to it.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about Tendies a whole lot. Let's do that. I mean, it's a really cool product, and we barely even touched it this whole time. So I've been working with Tendies. So they sponsored the last video that I published today and the one prior to. So what they've done is they've taken Reddit, just Wall Street Bets, and turned it into something that's much easier to navigate. It's a lot easier to find the information that you want to, and now they're adding features to it. So I won't talk too much about that. I know it's more in Hop's wheelhouse, but I have really enjoyed being able to navigate Wall Street Bets and seeing related stocks related to, like, if you want to see somebody who lost money on Robinhood specifically, and you want to do that on Reddit, you're going to have to be Control F. You're going to have to be looking all over the place. Being able to do that on Tendies makes that a ton easier. So it helped me make my Dank Trades video. And then I love how they've added the options order flow to it, which is usually something you have to pay for. Meanwhile, Tendies is giving it away for free. So I don't want to talk too much about what you guys are looking to do, because I know it's kind of in your wheelhouse. But by all means, please, what do we got?
I mean, it just is. You think you nailed it. It's just like we don't want to be too heavy-handed on like. Because I like to talk to you anyways. I like to talk to you about whatever's going on in the market.
Yeah.
We're trying to make this legitimately about like the community. We want to, and we don't want to be like talking about it so much as just like performing and making good shit that you want to see if you log into Reddit and you log into Wall Street Bets. So yeah, we have the ticker filtering right now. We have crypto if you want to look at cryptocurrencies. We have options flow on the app. So it's like the same app that you use to look at Wall Street Bets. We want to give you the tools, like it'll overlay a chart if you look at due diligence for a certain post. Little things like that. It's not going to be like revolutionary yet, but we're hoping to broaden the tools out slowly and surely to the point where like you can get every piece of due diligence and analysis on the same platform you use to look at Reddit. And we're expanding that Reddit platform to Discord. We're going to bring it to Twitter. Ultimately, what we want to do is turn investing into like a multiplayer type experience where you can trace other people's trades. You could see how dumb they were, how wrong they were, how smart they were, if they were correct.
So you're talking about like tracking a Twitter influencer?
Yeah, for sure. Like if you want to like shit on somebody, like it's hard right now because these guys throw out so many ticker symbols. But imagine if like there was some method to like track what this person posted about. and like it's grained into the foundation of the app. That's what we're going towards.
So
Or
really,
if you found somebody that's actually good, and you want to just trace their trades and put like $1,000 and just proportionally divvy it up however they divvy up their portfolio, that's what we want to do. We want to build that type of thing where I know that exists in some small way. With,
but I mean, it exists on eToro. They do it with the crypto community.
right.
I think there's some apps where people can. I think Seeking Alpha is one of them where analysts can drop their calls at different points and say this is what I think a stock is going to do and it tracks it. But to be able to get all of that into one app would be revolutionary. Because right now, to my knowledge, that doesn't exist, where you can track across platforms and things like that.
Well, to the extent it does exist, it's like they'll create a brokerage platform first and foremost, and then they'll try to build a community page or chat room on top of it. We are starting the reverse. We're doing the inverse of that. We're starting with the community first. The kernel of the community being obviously the OG people on Wall Street Bets that have been around for a long time, who aren't just like telling people to buy and hold AMC or GME. Those are the people we want to capture because they are, number one, they're smart, and number two, they are funny usually, and they have that kernel of something that makes a community worth building. And then from that perspective, once we've built that out, then we'll build a brokerage platform on top of that. So we're looking at it in a different way. Like that's, I hate companies, dude. I really do. I hate anytime like a company's trying to pitch me on some shit or like I'm looking at an advertisement. I hate almost all of them. But if you'll forgive me for being a little bit corny, we are trying to build like a community first type app where, it's some competitor to Robinhood.
Yeah, I wish I could actually pull up the app right now, but all I can get you is, because it's on a desk, it's a mobile only right now. What I can get you right now is this. This is the app that we're talking about. It's Tendies. So it's in the App Store right now on iOS. I mean, it's cool stuff. It really is cool stuff. It's the way I navigate Wall Street Bets now because I don't like getting kicked over to dividends or rare puppers or anything like that. Right. I've got priorities when I'm cruising my Wall Street Bets. I want to see what the apes are doing. So,
I've never heard of Chatterquant. I might check that out though. Chatterquant.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that either. I think that's what he thought we were actually talking about. But no, the website it's Tendies. So it's an app on iOS right now. I know a lot of people have talked about when is it coming out on Android. I don't know. Do you know?
We're within Q1. We're trying to get it out in Q1 2021 or 2022. It's actually really hard to build on Android's platform.
That's surprising. I thought that iOS would be much more challenging.
Apparently, it's like once you've broken through the initial part of iOS, it becomes a lot easier because like Apple's pretty good once you've gotten like on their store of like making things easy to release updates and everything. But the Android guy that we had working for us like straight up doesn't work here anymore. So he's moved on to something. Like we're trying to get somebody like to build a whole team to make sure that when it goes over to Android, it's the exact same features.
Hey, if anybody listening right now is proficient in Android development, hit me up. I'll refer you to Hopt, and you can get a job over developing Tendies, which I understand is very lucrative, because the owner or one of the co-owners threw money out of a helicopter in order to advertise. So
that's right. That's what we're doing. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I don't know where all that money's coming from. Brian asking. So anyway, that's the good stuff. All right, so that's the Tendies app. Yeah, I've been using them. But let's check out what else we got going in the market today. So, what do you guys think of Rivian, the stock? What's your take? What's your hot take on Rivian?
My dad pre-ordered a Rivian, and I was going to shit on it, but he seems pretty committed or pretty sold on the idea that they're going to actually produce a vehicle that is worth buying. I
mean, they probably will. They were talking for so long about making this all the electric vehicle companies, they're all saying basically the same thing. We're going to change the game, and I think that I think they could probably make good cars, but they're looking at maybe being able to start production in mid 2021, 2022.
We're overdue for an actual company that produces to challenge Tesla. Like how many times have we been burned with Ideanomics, with Neo,
Nikola,
frankly. Like
don't forget Nikola.
Nikola.
Yeah. I'm still not sure if it's Nikola or Nikola.
Nikola, I like that.
I think it's Nikola Tesla, so I'm calling it Nikola. But yeah, I remember this one. I remember how many people got absolutely destroyed on it.
I tried to warn them, dude. They wouldn't listen. But
why isn't Nikola pulling up for me? Did I lose connection here?
I still see you.
All right. Well, I mean, the Nikola chart's not pulling up. Well, whatever. Oh. So here's I was challenged, for the 3K challenge. The one that won the vote was Rivian. So I'm supposed to be trading Rivian, and I did. I opened up a put debit spread, but no matter where this stock goes, I seem to be unable to make money. So my break even on the stock is if it drops below, what is it, like 100 and so 270. I should be at a profitable position right now. Like the put debit spreads that I bought, they should be green. Somehow they are still managing. Wait, why do I only have one? Oh, it's just not showing me both. I have two debit spreads. The stock is only at 111. I should be profitable on it, but for one reason or another, volatility is so high that I can't move. Like I'm not getting anywhere with this thing. I need this thing to stay down until the end of the year before I'm actually going to start seeing any profit on it, because volatility is so high.
So you have debit put spreads. You're bearish.
I'm bearish.
You just under 100.
So if it goes down below 110, I will have hit max profit, which would be like $400 and something, $480. But right now I have two spreads. So you would think I'm in good shape. But implied volatility is so high that the options prices they're just kind of moving in tandem, even though that they're, I've got the short put at 115 and the long put at 110. But the volatility is so high that they're moving at almost the exact same pace. So I can't get anywhere. I need the stock to absolutely crash. I thought it was going to be a quick flip. Like when the stock drops, like, where are we at? When Rivian actually dropped, like it did drop to, I guess it's like the lowest it's been in a while. I think it dropped even lower at one point. I think like intraday it was like 109. And I was like, oh good, I'm going to be making money here. But the volatility did not drop enough for me to actually profit on it. So right now I'm like, yeah, I'm flat. It sucks. I thought I was going to be able to finish this trade by now.
Terrible Trader says the Nicola chart does pull up on tendies, which is true.
Of course it does.
You can only find Nicola on one mobile app right now, and that's on tendies.af/Mikey. I think that's it, right? Mikey?
Yeah, tendies.af/Mikey. Yeah, that's Nicola is not pulling up on Robinhood for some reason, which is very depressing.
Case in point, bro. Case in point.
I don't know. It's pulling up on Google too. So
Exhibit
over
A.
6 months, it didn't it spike to like $80 or something at one point. What was like the 52-week high? All right, so 30. It spiked up to 30 in the past year, but then it's just melted off since then. It looks like the hill that they rolled the car down.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's good. I'm pretty sure it hit like intraday something. I think it was in the 40s at least. You say it only showed up on the 30s?
Yeah, that's what it says, but I'm pretty sure I remember it being higher than that. Maybe it was more than a year ago. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, it was more than. Yeah, it was June 2020. That was more than a year ago. That's unbelievable. That's so fast. Yeah, it peaked at least the mid 60s. I think intraday was even higher than that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, this was a SPAC too, wasn't it? Because it was around $10 for a long time.
Crazy.
It must have been one of those SPAC merger things.
PSN says Nicola's CEO was a clown. He was a clown, and then I think he's been prosecuted or he's under investigation by the SEC. I think he's been prosecuted, not by the SEC, but by whatever jurisdiction. But like he sold a couple $1 billion worth of stock, so he's like, I mean, until he gets his sentence, for the time being, he seems like he's okay.
I mean, he probably made like more money off of that than he had at any other point in his entire life.
And he wrote a book. This is like how you know that our corporate media sucks. He wrote a book that's called like How to Get Away with a Scam or something like that, or it's like The Scam Artist. He's like the biggest scam artist in New York City. There's like a book that he wrote in like 2010. And we looked it up on stream, and it's like right in front of your face if you look at any, basic Google search. But it's not brought up anywhere. It wasn't brought up on CNBC, on Bloomberg. Like they all just let him pitch his stock, and then he did what he did.
Yeah, and that's why people actually bought it, because they didn't know that the guy has a history of scams.
Exactly. Like you might be a little bit more reluctant. I mean, they give him credibility when they put him on the platform like that.
That's silly.
Many such cases, man.
Yeah, the old way. I remember there was a guy in my Discord. He had made like 40,000 on Nicola, and then it was gone like within the course of like 3 days. He went from like having money to begging for money. That's sucks.
That's great. Yeah, dude, people need to like, what is it, bankroll management?
Well, that's why I always say like keep that foundation. Like whenever you have gains, like if you make $40,000, don't keep it all invested like that. Take 10,000 off and put it into triple Q, or at least a dividend stock. Get that stream of income set up. And then you don't have to worry about, is this company actually going to end up being exposed as a scam or something like that. You don't care. I mean, you still care, but you don't have 100% of your money on the line.
Juha says they will get more green as you get towards the expiration date. You clearly don't know how the spread actually works.
I know exactly how the spread works. Man, motherfucker. Go ahead, please.
I was just saying, like, you could close your position out early if you just wanted to turn green quicker. So I understand your point. I don't really understand what his point is. The IV doesn't matter here. Well, it doesn't respect to his current price if he needed to close the position.
No, IV matters a lot, Juha. You must have started reading about options like last week and think you're an expert now. So yeah, volatility matters when you're talking about spreads, because let's look at where the position is now. Rivian, all right. So now it's actually a little bit profitable. Let's look at where the stock is. All right. If volatility dropped to 0, there was no volatility left because it expired. All right. What is a 110 or what is a 115 put worth right now? It would be worth exactly $3.34 if there was no volatility. But if I look at what a put actually is going for, it will be higher because there's volatility indicating that the price may move. So yes, I do agree that it'll get greener as we get close to expiration, but that's not because volatility is dropping. That's because theta is going to be eating away at this. If you have a high IV stock, it matters a lot less where the price moves in the interim before you hit expiration, because there's a lot of movement left in the stock. But if we look at something like T, T's actually been moving a lot, but let's look at not TQQQ, that's not what I wanted at all. But if we look at SPHD, where volatility is generally really low, you'll see that there is very little premium on the out of the money options, versus if this had the same volatility as Rivian, then the out of the money calls would be a lot higher in price. So when IV is super high, the extrinsic value clings a lot longer to the stock. So yes, in my case, I do need volatility to decrease before this thing will actually start moving with the stock. I should be up right now, but volatility is very high. I actually am up a little bit right now, so finally we're getting to where I need to be. But I don't know, did that all make sense? I think it did. Hurt my feelings a little bit when he said, clearly I don't know what I'm doing, because I think I do. But yeah, I know how output debit spread works.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean,
there's got a little bit aggro. He got a little. I think he bought Tesla puts. He's a little upset. It's okay.
No, it's all good. It does frustrate me when you get you're familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, people start learning vocabulary, and suddenly they think they're an expert. I suffer from, everybody does it. We all suffer from it, but sometimes you think you're bringing these bright, exciting ideas to the table, where really it's like you haven't thought one level beyond it yet, because all you've learned so far is the vocabulary. So I think that's where we're at with a lot of people. It's fine. That happens to everybody. But I think that's what Juha was suffering from.
You just got jumped in by Theta Gang, bro.
Yeah.
You came in here all cocky, came into our Theta Gang clubhouse, and you got Steven Seagal roundhouse kicked right in the face just by Mikey Millions. Slapped you right upside the head with some knowledge. So that's what happens when you come strong and you come hard on Theta Gang. You're gonna get jumped into the gang, bro. It's as simple as that.
I like the way you put it. Yeah, it's cool. No hard feelings, Juha. It's been there. He says I was avoiding his comment because it criticizes me. All right, that's cool. Whatever.
Cool.
All right, whatever. So anyway, the Rivian put though, it is back to my break even now. So that's good, but I need the stock to stay depressed in price, so that as we get closer to expiration, that extrinsic value starts melting off of the 115, because right now it's still got a lot of extrinsic on it. And if I look at the one that I sold, these puts that I sold, they're actually quite profitable. These are the ones I bought, I'm sorry. The ones that I sold, the puts that I sold the 110s, and those are actually making money right now. No, I sold the 115s. I'm fucked up, I'm sorry. Juha's right, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I sold the 115 puts. So those I sold the, motherfucker. Bought the 115, sold the 110s.
Wait, for Rivian?
Hold up. I sold the 115s. I bought the 110s. So yeah, you're okay. My bad. So yeah. Anyway, if I'm looking at the puts that I bought at 110. So are these actually profitable right now? So they're the ones that are lost. So, the stock decreasing in price further, I would end up making money on the puts, but I would lose more on the ones that I bought. are the ones that I sold rather. So what I need is for the stock to remain below one. If it goes below 110, I'll definitely be in a profitable position. If it remains even down here at the 111, that's still below my break-even price, so I will have profited, which is real good. But it's a long way. I mean, the end of the month is a long way away, and Rivian can go in pretty much any direction until then. I didn't think that it was going to be able to have this momentum to be able to stay inflated like this. But it's done pretty well, the stock overall. It's just kind of weird to me because they don't make any cars yet. They've got earnings coming up in a few days.
The decisions that a company makes in the run-up to, especially in the EV industry, the decisions that the companies make in the car industry in general, like if you're an emerging company and you want to be like the next Elon Musk or Tesla, I don't think the route you go is like to try to build a cult of personality like Elon Musk did, and like the guy from Nikola, Trevor Milton, tried to be. I think that you do it by being kind of quiet and not being in the news so much. And if you get like some huge momentum from retail investors like this, you could just skate by. I think what's sad about the whole Trevor Milton and Nikola thing is like, if people had bought into the scam for maybe like 3 or 4 more years, he might have been able to create something really cool out of that. But because he fronted and because it was so much based off of like easily determinable lies, he couldn't do it. But if Rivian can do it, then they might be a serious competitor to Tesla or to,
I mean, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see more competition in the EV market, for sure. But in the meantime, but I mean, like in the short term, I still need the stock to drop. But people aren't pricing in the EV market as where it is right now. Even with Tesla, they're not pricing in the current value of it. I mean, right now, Tesla has like less than 1% of the total global market cap, or total global shares, market share. But meanwhile, its market cap is more than every other car company combined, plus another couple of billion. So it's obviously priced not for today, but for what it could be worth very, very far into the future. I think Rivian is kind of catching that same bug. People aren't looking at EVs for what they're worth today, but what they could be way down the line. And with earnings coming up in a couple of days here, I don't think that's going to affect Rivian, unless they say that they're so poor that they don't have liquidity anymore. I think that earnings isn't even going to make a difference. What's going to matter is when they say they're going to start building more cars and how many they expect to sell. That's what's going to make a difference. Their money is barely a factor unless they're illiquid.
Yeah, and whether people believe in the model of the company, I think Elon Musk is like a flash in the pan in the sense that like he's one of those. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, big.
I'm gonna put myself on mute. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's no problem. Anyway, that's me venting my frustrations on Rivian, which I thought my put debit spread would be more successful. There's just too much extrinsic value left on the 115s, so it's frustrating to hear. All right, so Intrepid is asking thoughts on how to play the infrastructure bill. You have to track, in my opinion, you have to track conflicts of interest to see who gets the government contracts. Yeah. So here's the way I like to approach it. So there's a whole bunch of different companies that are going to be successful here and a whole bunch that are going to miss out on contracts. Right now, all of the companies involved in infrastructure construction are all going up in price because of this infrastructure bill. Or they have prior and now they're starting to come back off. We'll just leave Hop there. He'll come back. So what I think is going to happen is some of these companies will win their contracts and actually gain value. Some of them will not win contracts and they will not. So the way to always catch the winners is to use an ETF like PAVE. So when Biden first got elected, I did a Patreon post on it. It was like a year ago now. I said buy shares of PAVE. It must have been like November or something like that. So probably a little bit prior to this, when the stock was at 20. Now it's at 28. So this is an ETF that captures pretty much all of the infrastructure related companies. Things like, can we see what's in it in this? Yeah, industrials, basic materials, utilities. So a lot of industrials. Nucor, so that, I don't know if you guys know them. They're like a steel milling company. I don't know what some of these are. Vulcan. I think a lot of these are like the steel production, rail. This is the type of thing that you need to get into if you want to take advantage of the infrastructure bill. What I'm waiting on is a marijuana bill that can finally get these terrible ETFs back on track. Yeah, they were going up for a while. No, it's all good. Yeah, we missed you. Now I gotta fix my thingy here. We were talking about how to take advantage of the infrastructure bill. So I was saying take on the ETF PAVE as the way to go. Get you fixed.
You think it's kind of priced in a little bit?
I think most of it is already priced in, yeah. But if you're going to be speculating on which companies are going to benefit from it, don't try to just pick the winner. Instead, go with the ETF that you know is going to capture the winner. But I mean, we look at what PAVE has done. PAVE. So if we look at what PAVE has done, I mean, when Joe Biden got elected, I made a video. I was like, this is what's going to happen to us. And it was mostly about tax, but one of the things was infrastructure bill. I think it was like right after he got elected. So if you had bought around that time, you'd have been getting in at like $20. Now the thing, I mean, it's for a infrastructure or for an industrials. This ETF has done really, really well. And now we've got inflation as a tailwind. We've got the whole infrastructure bill rolled out. I think there's still some value left in buying PAVE at this price. I recommended it to my friend's mother, and she was pretty upset with me when the stock wasn't moving fast enough, but she eventually got over it.
Part of me thinks that there's not, man, I don't mean to be a doomer here for like the long-term investors, but it's like, I don't know how much organic growth is coming from real exchange of money like that. I think a lot of what we're seeing right now, especially with regards to big movements in the market, is like access to credit, which is in some way just a function of being a huge company already. So like, I don't know, man. I'm really reluctant to make plays based off of like any catalyst or any sort of event that I'm anticipating.
I don't know, but look at what we've got in here though. So we'll come back to that in a second. I got to thank Nicholas Richards for throwing me $10 super chat, so he gets his money gun. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like that was my wife's gift to me for I think it was last Christmas or something. That's a fun one. But I mean, look at what's in this fund though. You've got Nucor, a steel manufacturer. Do you see demand for steel decreasing in the future? I mean, maybe you do. I don't know what half these companies are, but
steel is a play for commercial real estate. Steel is not used for residential housing. It might be used, I guess, for like infrastructure or regarding like maybe bridges or something like that. But I can't imagine that it's like a huge like concrete is probably the play. I think I saw somebody in your chat mention concrete.
Does anybody know any of these companies and what they do? Like, I don't know what half of this.
No, I don't know anything about it. And that's the thing is like who, like, what? It's like, so what? I mean, how much is in this bill? It's like $1 trillion or something.
Is that all it got watered down to?
Something like it's like $3 trillion, or which sounds silly, like they were like poo-pooing that, but it's like, I mean, where is it going to go?
I mean, you still need something to actually do with the money once it gets, moved around. Like, if you just throw money at a problem, it still needs to actually go somewhere that can actually get put into practice. So I get that. I mean, you can only build so many bridges before you end up doing what China does and just build things that nobody wants. So I kind of understand that sentiment. I think what they should be doing out of this is spending a lot of it on like wireless infrastructure, things like better broadband, better telecom, that sort of thing. I mean, you look at what they got in Europe, it's like $13 a month to get unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi. In the US, $13 a month is going to get you like a Wi-Fi only plan. It's like total. You can't even get a plan for that cheap of a price.
No, you can't get a plan for $13 a month. Holy shit!
But
they have that in Europe.
Yeah, that's all I spent. I spent $13 for it was like one line, and I mean it wasn't a great plan. You want to get the top of the line plans in Europe, it's like $40. But in the US, $40 gets you like the basic plan, and then you have to spend over $100 if you really want a top of the line one. So why do they have so much better infrastructure in terms of wireless technology than we do? And you talk about trains, it's like night and day. Like, we drive everywhere in the U.S. because we have this garbage infrastructure when it comes to transportation, except if you're flying or if you're driving on a highway. Other than that, I mean, you don't have a whole lot of options. So I think we should try to adopt some European models of telecom and of trains, and then we'll be in real good shape.
As long as our women continue shaving their armpits, that to me that's a hard stop. That's a non-negotiable.
Shaving their armpits? Did they?
They
not
don't do that in France. They don't shave their.
Oh, in
armpits.
France, yeah. France is like its own thing.
Legs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if we want things like OnlyFans to continue gaining in value, we have to make sure that women shave adequately. So
that's so true.
And once they IPO, I'm definitely going to invest in them. That they'll come eventually.
But yeah, dude, I got my crayons. I'm ready to do some DD.
Your kids' crayons?
I got my kids' crayons that I use to invest. These are my crayons, actually. These are my investing crayons.
I mean, it's probably better than most of the DD that you get on Wall Street Bets anyway.
It's true.
Hey, let me give some here's some advice to people that are listening. Not me or you, but others. If you ever, you have a friend who has a kid, do not give them toys as gifts. Because I can guarantee you that every house with a kid in it is already chock full of toys. They don't need any more.
True.
We have boxes full of old toys that people gave us.
You know what really counts is like blankets and fucking like rags and stuff that like when they spit up and when they inevitably make a mess. Those are invaluable.
Yeah, your kid's only 6 months old, so you have like rags laying all over the house.
Yep.
We're finally past that. My
Yes.
daughter's 2 now, so.
There's like a 10-second lag, I think, or a 15-second lag, so they're like responding to the things that we said a little bit ago.
Oh, about the shaving and stuff?
I guess, yeah. JJ Hawkins says you got to eat the crayons for maximum effect. Well, I do. I salt them first, and then I enjoy them.
Are you a Marine or something?
He does. You do be looking like one, though. At least in the
me?
thumbnail.
No, I hope not.
That's so true. I eat the green one, and that gives me my gains.
See what's going on Squawk Box. How do we watch this? Can we just like...
Dude, has Jim Cramer gone full you know what or what?
Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta sign in to watch? Anybody got a live TV that they want to share? I thought I could just like watch Squawk Box. Can we watch a clip here?
I'll give you mine. You want my login?
Yeah. Just Discord it to me.
It's Frontier. Is the provider.
Oh, I gotta click on Frontier. Frontier Communication.
Yep.
We'll do a little bit of this, and then I got one sponsored segment I gotta do left. And but Hop, I need you to help me out with that one because it's more fun. All right, yeah, Discord that to me real quick.
I just Discorded you.
All right, where's my Discord at? I got too many windows open over here.
Daniel Roca says, how do you find companies to invest? Dude, what are you looking for? Do you want something to buy and hold for 5 years? Do you want something to try to make a quick buck? Because those are two different things that I look for. When I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling like I want to gamble today, I pull up a stock screener. I used to use Wells Fargo stock screener actually because it was really good. I pull up a stock screener that helps me identify exactly how degenerate I'm feeling that day. If I want to do like some ridiculous play where I hopefully make like 30-40% in a day, I'm looking to do like a market cap between $500 million and $2 billion. And then I hone my screener down. I'm looking for volatility, so I want something that's risen or fallen a lot over the last week. Usually not intraday, believe it or not, because usually by the time I see that huge move, it's already been made. And I want new moves. Or I want something that's got like a huge ripple effect over the course of the last 5 days. So if you can find volatility over the course of the last week, that would be good. And then I find the industry I want to invest in, and I find something that has some volume because I don't want to be stuck in my trade. And those three things, as long as you have the market cap right, the volatility right, and the volume right, are the things that I look at if I'm looking to make a day trade. If you're looking for long-term investments, I mean, you got to do your own due diligence there, dude. You got to think about what you think is going to go up, what you think is going to really hit.
Look at revenue. I mean, that's the primary thing I look at. If revenue is increasing, then you know that demand for the product is increasing. I mean, earnings is going to be all over the place. There's a lot of fancy tools you can use to make earnings increase when it really isn't. A lot of book work. But when it comes to revenue, that's a little bit harder to fake because it shows that there's demand for your product. So I dig that. Unfortunately, Hop, we can't sign into your CNBC because it's not in your current subscription package. That's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm on YouTube TV now. I forgot. My bad, dude. Shit. Same login, by the way,
But YouTube.tv?
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. It looks like something's happening. All right, let's sign in with another account.
That's the email. I just Discorded you for that one. But same password.
Same password. Okay, we'll try that one again too.
Also, one huge thing that I recommend that if you're a long-term investor or you're somebody that wants to make money in the market is like find somebody that knows Nancy Pelosi. Like find a friend of Nancy Pelosi's or somebody that works at Mossad or the CIA.
Can we get a Pelosi tracker on attendees?
We need one.
All right, Hop, you got to hit the number 25 on your phone.
All right, there you go.
Sweet.
I think you tried to log in under Hop 91 though. I sent you the new.
Oh, there's another thing. Oh, my
I sent you
bad.
the new email address.
Oh, my bad.
That's
My
the one
bad.
that
My
has
bad.
YouTube.
Okay. All right. Let's try this one again. All right, we'll do this for a little while, and then gotta do my. You gotta help me out with my sponsored segment, and then we gotta bounce. Uh-oh, I'm on my.
What's the deal with the sponsor segment again? Who are you?
It's
Who are you with?
You know, blue. All right, let's just. You want to just do it real quick? We'll find out what we're talking about it
Sure.
already. All right, the number is 92. Hit that one for 92. All right, where we are in. All right. Oh, it's asking if you're traveling, because we're in different locations. All right, cool, man. This is awesome. You get like all
Yeah,
this
dude,
power
YouTube
lunch,
videos
and
are
it's
good.
legit. All right, everyone come back to this, but let's just do that sponsor segment real quick so we knock it out. It's actually I'm really happy with the product, believe it or not. I was a little skeptical about it, but it totally ended up being worth it. So, as we had talked before, what is the average S&P 500 return? And audience, please participate in that discussion.
You want me to guess how long? Like how long of a period of time over the last?
I want to
50
get
years?
I want to get an idea of what people believe is the average return. Just if somebody asks that question with no additional context.
I would say I think 7%.
All right, so 7%. Let's wait for a couple of audiences to fill in. Then I'm giving you a hint of what we're about to talk about with this screen. So 7%. Let's see what somebody else is going to have to say. A lot of people say around 10%. A lot of people say, you know, over the past few years, if you started investing in 2020, the answer is like 30%. But I want to wait for a couple and see what people have to say. And then I'm going to talk about why this product. All right, so Michael White, he's in on 8%, so he's close. JJ Hawkins, 12%. Over a couple more. So everybody's in around that. All right, so 5 to 10%. Everybody's kind of in that same ballpark range of approximately 10%. So let's think about this. All right, so 10%. Keep that number in mind. How much money does a root canal cost in the United States? In Europe, it's like $15. In the U.S., nobody's going to guess this right. In the U.S., it's approximately $1,800. So if you need to pay for a root canal and you need $1,800, that is the equivalent of having approximately $18,000 more dollars in your account in order to get that money. So what do people do when they want to make more money? They start doing some freeloader stuff. They start like cutting little expenses here and there. What we should be doing in the US, this isn't applicable to Europe, but in the US, the biggest expense in your life is going to be your health. So when it comes to taking care of your teeth, I want to know why so many people do such a shitty job. Why people are getting cavities, refusing to floss. How many of you guys actually floss? Not nearly enough of you. So get yourself some freaking dental care. All right. And that doesn't mean getting a better dental plan. That means, so Eric Red said he just got one for $1,500. So that is the equivalent of having an additional $15,000 in your account if he had taken better care of his teeth. So this company, M Teeth, they're offering big discounts right now on probably the best fucking toothbrush I've ever used. Why am I featuring a toothbrush on my finance channel? Because it's a bomb-ass toothbrush. And if you guys pay better attention to your teeth, you're going to save money on medical attention. So this big black dildo looking thing, this is a water flosser. Get yourself one of these for like $30. It's got even discounted here. And you will save yourself a lifetime of bad teeth and very expensive dental work. This toothbrush right here, 5 different settings, cleans your teeth like no other toothbrush I've ever had. Get yourself some dental care and you will be doing yourself a big favor. So let me use, I think I just put it in. Take a good look at yourself and determine, are you taking enough care of your teeth? If you are not, I don't care how you do it, whether you want to use this company or another one, start freaking flossing your teeth. Because you only get one, you get 2 sets in your life. And one of them is when you are like 5 years old.
Yep.
So dental care, if you use that code that I just sent you, they will hook you up with a discounted price. I think it's like, here, Undivine Knight, he says he's into it. Eric Red says water flossers are awesome. Water flosser is amazing. I agree with it. I hate how this thing looks. It's like kind of big and dumb, but I've had water flossers before where it's got like a separate reservoir. This one being together like this, you can floss all your teeth without having to have separate equipment for it.
That shit looks like you can get a workout with it too. That looks thick as hell. That's a thick.
It's not as heavy as it looks. It really isn't. But it's I mean, when it's full of water, yeah, it is. But you just leave that shit like open and spray between your teeth, and it's a lot less. Your gums aren't going to bleed like they do with those little flosser thingies. But I mean, I go to the dentist a lot now because I got these Invisalign braces, And every time I'm in there, somebody's in there getting their teeth drilled, getting all jacked up. By just getting yourself some decent dental care equipment, you would save yourself all that expense.
It's time to stop fucking around with your teeth. All right. I mean, look at yourself. You're 20 years old. It's time to start taking care of your teeth. Do the adult thing. Save money now and save money later. You just look better. And I'm going to push back on Kamikaze's comment about the Europeans. If you're from Britain or the United Kingdom, you need this product. I've seen your people's teeth. I've seen the teeth of London, and they're not pretty. You need, regardless of how much it's going to cost you for dental care, just from like a fit perspective, from a drip perspective, if your drip be looking whack, you know, maybe it's your teeth. And these are questions you should be asking yourself in your 20s and 30s. So
that is a good point
too. I'm going to buy it actually myself. I'm going to use your. Do you have a promo code?
Are you really? Yeah, I think so. Here, if you guys can see on my screen, so I logged in with my promo code. It's knocking the price down for the toothbrush, or this is the water flosser, from $70 to $40. So it's knocking it down. And toothbrush, kind of the same. It should be knocking it down. I don't know if I have the Series 7 or Series 5. I don't know. It doesn't say on this toothbrush, but I don't know. Let's go high quality here. I think these are more expensive. Yeah, so this one's $100 for the Series 7. What about the Series 5? Let's see. I mean, dude, it's legit. Like, it is a all right. So you're not saving nearly as much on the toothbrush, but I mean, still not a whole lot of money anyway. $60. I mean, compared to what these things can sometimes cost, and compared to what bad dental situation costs, get the water flosser if nothing else. Because I think everybody brushes their teeth. I hope not enough people are flossing. So if you can't do it, if you just don't have the patience to do it with like a proper string, do it with this water flosser, and you're gonna save yourself some time and some pain too. All I'm saying.
I totally back that 100%. You can't be looking busted. It's 2022. There's no reason you should have busted teeth. And this is a product for you to, you know, even if your portfolio looks like shit, your teeth should look pristine. Okay? So how much is this? How much is the product? It's like $300.
What? This toothbrush? The water flosser? It's like 40.
Oh shit. You got
$400.
That's
No, that's $40. So Eric Red says his was 130, so it seems like a good deal. So I pinned the promo code for it. I mean, if you guys want to get your dental care in order, definitely recommend this company. They're really good. And it's free. It's free shipping too, so it's not very expensive. And you get the hookup. I mean, the charge on this thing lasts like a week, but it only takes 30 minutes to charge, so it's no big deal. Same thing with toothbrush. You know, it'll last you a week plus, and then within minutes you're good. Anyway, that's all I'm saying about that. I'm glad people actually were amused by this product because I like it, and it's saving my teeth. So by all means, get in on that toothbrush lifestyle. M Teeth is the company's name. Yeah, check it out. I'm not sure if that sponsor is still watching right now. She said she wanted to watch, but I don't know. It's been like 2 hours since I started. So
that's a cool company, though. Cool idea.
Yeah.
Also, Tendies, though. Tendies, too. We can't forget Tendies. After you're done brushing your teeth, right? You've flossed, you've cleaned, you've cleansed. Now it's time to check up on Reddit, and it's time to look at Wall Street Bets. And to do that, I hope you download Tendies. It's for free. But Mikey Millions gets a kickback. If you love Mikey Millions, you got to download Tendies. He gets a kickback for everybody that uses his download link, so please do that. And
by all
we will
means.
build this.
Well, what do you think I'm doing when I'm brushing my teeth? I'm scrolling Tendies. It's like every freaking day.
There you go.
I don't know about you guys, but like, it's the first thing you do when you like wake up in the morning. Like, check pre-market stocks, and check like your whatever social media, whether it's Reddit or what have you. That's like the very first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, and then scroll through like 10 notifications. But what were we about to look at? There was something.
What's the name of the company that you're?
This M Teeth.
M Teeth.
Yeah, M Teeth.
Sick.
Yeah, it's good. Good stuff, man. I mean, the toothbrush is slightly discounted, but this water flosser, I mean, this is what I asked for when they were like, "Hey, do you want product?" I was like, "Yes," but they wanted to give me a toothbrush, and I was like, "Dog, I'll take the water flosser any day." They just sent me both of them. The Tendies link is broken. It says, "Is it not HT?"
What? I don't see it as broken on my end at least, but
yeah, it's working for me. I don't know, man. If you're on maybe if you're on Android, it's not gonna work.
That's such a good point, and I don't think this is touched on enough. Diraj Moore says, electric toothbrush doubles as a vibrator in case of an emergency kink, which is another use. And that thing looks like it could be used. If your girlfriend is 300 pounds, if your girlfriend is like four hunch, a couple hunch, then that would suffice. I think you could. And if she's like literally a Barbie doll, if she's tiny, she can use the other end, the end that goes in your mouth. Just don't, arrange things appropriately. But I think that's an appropriate recommendation.
How the hell do I watch Squawk Box? I want to watch a little bit of Squawk Box before we wrap up, because my daughter's about to wake up, but I need to see the word on the street, coming into market close here.
You got to go to live TV. I think you're watching like reruns.
Oh. You know how long it would have taken me to figure that out? Well, we got Fox, CBS, sports. I'm like a boomer when it comes to these types of apps. I don't know where we're at.
You got to go back to like the main screen for YouTube TV.
All right,
you see it in like the live. It looks like a YouTube video.
All right, let's try this again. We're going to the home screen.
We can watch Ellen DeGeneres.
All right, closing bell. Let's see.
Looks like it's starting to stabilize where it is. Now, it's very early to say that.
Seems a little loud.
We're using our data to understand what areas to pass some of those costs.
You guys can't see the video on YouTube, can you? Something's amiss. Are you able to see this, guys?
And other areas where to retain it. And our teams have done a great job of being able to manage costs, so it gives us the capacity to not pass all those costing.
It looks like a blank screen over here. You guys seeing blank screen?
So we saw
I see
big
blank.
jump in food prices.
That sucks. I was really hoping this would work.
Sorry, bro.
Well, it's not your fault. It's definitely my computer that's screwing it up.
OBS. If you're running through OBS, I've had that problem so many times.
What if I open up a Windows? Yeah, it's not gonna work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. That sucks. All right. Well, I mean, we can do.
But also, if we do this again, dude, like, if you guys think of anything that you want in the app, like if you want certain features that you think would be cool, just let us know. We have like a whole team of programmers that are building this shit. So if you see anything that you want that you wish like you could have while you're browsing Reddit or any other social media platform, like we're all ears. We're open to any suggestions.
Yeah, right on.
So hit us up.
All right, let's what I want to do real quick though. Let's take a quick look again at the portfolio before we close out. Let me get, because I want to see. People are asking where's my what are my strangles doing here? So let's see how they ended up going throughout the day. I'll log in over on this side real quick. All right, let's check the non-retirement account. So it looks like it turned out to be a decent day after all.
Glad to hear it. Hope everyone else is doing well too.
Yeah, right on. Okay. Let's see. So quick review of the portfolio. So you're asking about the naked strangles. So here's what happened. It looks like Triple Q has stayed pretty much, I mean, it rose a little bit throughout the day, but it's generally stayed pretty flat. So I ended up making money on the short calls because the stock didn't go up enough to overcompensate for theta. And then I lost a little bit of money, but stayed pretty close to being flat on the short puts. So it's kind of unusual. You'd expect that when the stock goes up like that, you'd think that I would have made money on the puts and lost on the calls. But I guess the momentum coming off of yesterday, I don't know, kind of weird. But in any case,
supply and demand, dude.
I guess, yeah. But I've been I profited on both ends today, which is really good. And then, which it doesn't always happen, but this is being able to stay flat over on the put side, being able to make good money like this on the call side, puts me at about $900 ish. So good. I still need a little bit more before I'm ready to close this, but if we open flat on Monday, I think we'll get there. I'll be able to close this for my 25% profit goal. I'm gonna take the money and put it into probably some more dividend ETFs, and then just do it all over again. open up a new spread and keep the money coming. So let's see.
Have you considered making like a Mikey Millions Shorts page?
Like on YouTube?
Yeah.
I made a short video one time, and everybody got notifications for a 30-second video, and they absolutely hated it. I was like melting off subscribers for the rest of the day. Kind of sucked.
Really?
I would love to see YouTube implement something where you can make a separate subscription to shorts versus regular videos. Like,
that's what a lot of channels do, is they just put a different channel.
Yeah, like Mikey Million Shorts. I mean, I guess I could do that. Once the new year comes around, I'll probably have time. What'd you say?
I'd help you make content for it if you wanted.
Oh, then let's do it as soon as January rolls around, because I have so much to do before the end of the year. But I'm gonna be. I mean, I am full time now on YouTube. I just had my final call with Booz Allen, so by January, I'm gonna be looking to do more stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you probably can't say this, but like, support your local streamer, boys. This is, it's grueling work to try to get all this shit up and running, and Mikey Millions is one of the best at it. So
the video that I made today, that took like 2 straight days of constant work and then like a third day of partial work. So I would probably say about 30 hours maybe into making one of those dank trades videos. I'm trying to increase speed, but I mean, being a YouTuber is not as easy as a lot of people think it is, unless maybe you're just like filming yourself in your room, but that's not how I do things. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to make a shorts thing, because I think it would be really cool to make like just a way to do like quick updates on stuff.
Yeah, like little factoids or whatever, you see something in the market that doesn't warrant a full video, but you want to talk about. I think it's just a cool avenue.
Yeah.
I mean, you can work on it. We'll talk about it Q1.
Hey, always room to collab, so I'm down. I was also I'd watched one of your. You don't stream on Twitch too often, but I had seen some of your videos on politics and news, and I was persuaded by your convincing argumentation in a lot of cases. So if you say something's a good idea, I'm with you. So let's see. Let's answer a couple of questions here, and then we're looking to wrap up in the next couple of minutes. So Eric Red says, "What are my thoughts on SoFi? I've been getting wrecked on my position. I like the company. I don't know about the stock though. I really haven't followed it too much, but I absolutely love." Thank you, Stonked Up. Here's your money gun. Thank you so much for your generous contribution once again. Can always count on you. But what do I think of SoFi? So I like the company. Might even use the company to get a mortgage, but I don't know much about the stock. I think it's probably got a long way to go to build out its community, build out its services. It would be a long-term hold, if anything. I don't think the stock has any momentum right now, from what I understand. So let's just see real quick. And Stonked Up, you are too generous, man. Threw me another couple of bucks. Even during the crypto winter, he's still willing to share. Thank you so much for what you do for me. But I mean, SoFi, yeah, it hasn't been doing so hot, man. There's no momentum here. So I don't know. Could it be bottoming out around 15 again? It's tough. But I think it is a good company. So if you're willing to hold, then hold long term. But I wouldn't expect anything really significant in the near term. But let's see. A couple more. So how did I do during the massive volatility spike last week? So what happened last week? God, dude, I really don't remember. I think the volatility was up and down so much, but the strangles, they handled it fine, because the stock didn't move week over week. It just moved day over day. So I think I actually made it out okay on that. Sometimes it will happen where you end up losing a lot of money when volatility spikes. But I think, week over week, I was fine. Day over day, yeah, there was like a $25,000 loss one of those days. It kind of sucked. How much prefer the longer, or he prefers the longer videos, but he's interested more. Why not make TikTok videos? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really use TikTok, but maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a way. And Undivine Knight wants the money gun, so here we go. Thank you, Undivine. Undivine, yep. Always a reliable person. He's on Patreon too, one of the few legates that just continues to show me the love every month, gives me the confidence to go full-time. Leaving a full-time job. I left a $120,000 a year job to go and be a YouTuber, so that shows, the fact that I was willing to do that, as cautious as I am about money, shows that this community has done so much to support me. So I really appreciate that, guys. You're the ones that made this happen, not YouTube. All I'm saying. All right, let me reload my money gun, and hey, unless there's more that you guys want to talk about, then I'm about ready to call it a day and go. Make sure my family doesn't become too disappointed in me, since I've been down in the basement like all day.
Well, bro, appreciate you having me on, and let me pitch tendies again.
No, absolutely. I love tendies. You're welcome to pitch tendies whenever you want to. So we will, tindies.af/Mikey. If you're on iOS, check the app out. You will not be disappointed. You can pretty much undownload the Reddit app after that. You'll be all set. I think Stunk though.
There you go.
He's good.
But I do love your community, dude. You of all the shows, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Of all the shows where I go on, like your people are the most civil. They react the right. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's a good vibe whenever I come into your chat. So kudos to your people, and much love to you and all the Theta Gang investors out there.
Yeah, right on.
Much appreciated.
All right, thanks, Mikey. All right, we'll wrap up the stream. I just called you Mikey. Jesus Christ.
I am Mikey.
Thank you, Hopped. All right, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Just hang out with me for a couple of minutes, and we'll debrief going into the end of the year.